Harnessing the Power of AI for HR Excellence. It is a great honor to be in front of you today as we continue to delve into the dynamic and constantly evolving realm of human resources. Together, let's keep learning and growing by keeping the most out of today's sessions. I encourage you all to keep an open mind and actively participate in the discussions and activities. So, let us start with the first session for today, which centers on unlocking innovation through creativity and design thinking. In today's fast paced and ever evolving world, creativity and innovation have become the essential tools. The challenges we face today demand that we adopt new ways of thinking and create effective solutions. To lead this enlightening session, we have with us our distinguished Dr. Ashu Khosla. Dr. Ashu is Associate Professor at Shulini University, and she is also the founder of Learn-Ins. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Ashu Khosla.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to, first of all, welcome once again all the delegates which have, graced this occasion, joined us from near and far. So thank you so much for being here today. And I would also like to thank the ODL team which has organized this conference and given me a chance to talk about a topic which is very close to my heart. I love it. I learn about it every day. I teach it. And it is, of course, creativity. Now, because this conference is about AI and how AI is going to affect organizations, you might be wondering, how does creativity come into all of this? So this beautiful quote, I think, sums it up all. Given by Alan Turing in 1951. And we're going to come back to this date because it's special. He says that, it is very comforting to think that some things will never be replicated by AI. But then he says, I have no reason to believe that is going to be true. He says, machines are going to learn everything. Machines are also going to learn creativity. And, I run this literature festival for Shulini every year. And I was talking to a publisher. And he said, oh, people, they send me stuff which is written on AI. How can they write stories with AI? But AI is already writing stories. It is, and they are getting better and better every day. We will be able to teach our machines to create. But the point is, we don't know yet enough about this subject. So I talked about this date, 1950, 51, because it was very iconic for creativity as a domain. Before that, creativity was never, people had their own personal experiences with creativity, but creativity as a subject came into limelight after the 1950s when there was a, legendary address to the Psychology Association of America by a psychologist called Guilford, who is considered to be the father of research in creativity. So till 1950, about 70 years ago, we didn't even consider creativity a domain to be researched. Whereas your law of gravity and other empirical research in sciences was happened in the 15th and the 16th and the 14th century. So this is a very, very new subject. Even human beings are still grappling with knowing what exactly is creativity and how we can be creative. Of course, we agree on one thing, that we all have to be creative. All of you are HR leaders here, our guests. And I keep reading articles which say that one of the most valued skill that people are going to look for in the future is creativity. So of course, there is a long way for AI and machines to become creative, because humans are still discovering how to be creative themselves, right? So why creativity? Why is creativity important for human beings, for organizations? Because creativity, simply put, is our ability to think of ideas, and ideas are which lead to innovation. This ability to think ideas is what creativity is, and all innovation begins with some crazy idea that some individual had at some point of time. So how do ideas come about? So I'm talking because you're in a university and because I'm a teacher, I will talk about academic and research models related to creativity. There are 4 dimensions of creativity that researchers have looked at. They said that, or idea generation rather. They said, of course, idea generation depends on creativity, your ability, how creative an individual is. It depends on the knowledge. Now, the knowledge can be collective or it can be individual, and knowledge is very different from learning. Learning is something that we formally do. Somebody comes and does an MBA degree. But knowledge is something that we gain from so many things, by talking to people, by the environment that we are in, etc. So that knowledge and learning and the creativity, how your mind ticks, what is your ability to create. And finally, the most important in this day and age is collaboration. So at one point of time, I was talking about advances in sciences. The scientist was a lone genius, working in some small lab, doing some experiments and coming out with something new. However, these days, those labs are organizations. Apple, Microsoft, so many unicorns now in India. All these are the labs which have created innovative ideas and have executed them. So collaboration, working in groups, becomes a very, very important dimensions of idea generation. Now, creativity in organization, what does it mean? Organizations give context to creativity. If I am creative on my own, I can say I want to write a poem, I want to build a rocket, I want to solve the problem of bad roads or climate change. But an organization will provide that context because everybody can't do everything. So organizations are built. So you are either an organization which is solving for climate change, you're an organization which is manufacturing something, you're an organization which is providing services, and that context is provided by those organizations, right? So that is what creativity in organizations actually means. I mentioned that I'm an academic. This is a model that I really love. Very complicated, very difficult to understand, but it talks about the interplay between various factors which result in organizational creativity. I have made it simpler for you to understand. This is what the model says. It says that organizational creativity is like an interplay between factors related to individuals, factors related to the group, and the factors related to the organization. So the individual comes with his or her personality, his or her own ability, his or her own prior knowledge and learning, their qualification. You as HR people look at qualifications of people, right? That is the first thing and the easiest thing to check. Their knowledge, you'll realize later when they start working for you. Are they knowledgeable or not, right? And of course, their own abilities. We are all born with certain abilities, right? Some people are good in left brain activities. They are analytical. Some people are imaginative. Some people like to visualize stuff, etc. So that is their ability. However, when they come together in an organization, they are required to work in a group, right? And that group also gives the context for creativity, right? Sometimes it is competition. We have to do better than the other team. Sometimes it is even a negative thing, or we have been put together in this team where we don't like being here, but yeah, we are supposed to work together. So a lot of things come into play. Conflict, motivation of the group as such. What is the composition of the team? How many members? What is the process that they follow? All this starts coming into play, and this interacts or interplays with the individuals, right? So the organization and even the group to some extent also determines the environment. Is it a Google that you're working for, which says you can spend 20% of your time thinking of new ideas? Or is it something which is driven by sales, which says, I don't care what you do. I don't care about innovation and creativity. I want the numbers on my sheets every month. So that is the environment, the culture. And I think that is very important for HR people present here. The kind of culture you create in an organization. Are ideas rewarded? Is your idea box just a tick in the box which lies there and nobody really bothers to put an idea? Are ideas valued? Are they incentivized? That is the kind of environment you're creating. And of course, overlying this is creativity at the individual level, at the group level, and at the organization level. How collectively creative is an organization, how collectively creative is the group, and how creative is the individual who's coming and forming this group. So simply put, organizational creativity is a function of individual creativity and group creativity. So we are going to explore these dimensions. This is not a lecture. It's kind of an interactive thing. So we're going to try and explore these individual and group dynamics that occur when we create. So now we're going to do a small exercise. I hope some of you have pens, but I have some pencils also here. So this is called the 30 circle challenge. How many of you have heard of it before? Okay, some of my students, my TA here, Namita ma'am has heard of it. I'm glad that you haven't. Good. I'm happy. If you had heard of it, then it wouldn't make it as exciting. So it's a simple thing. We are going to take 2 minutes. We are going to distribute these sheets around. I don't know how many we have. Otherwise, if we have some blank sheets, you can even try it in some notebooks if people sitting at the back want to try it with their notebooks. All you have to do is you have to have this paper where you have these 30 circles drawn. And somebody here will have to time me, help me time it. Once everybody is ready, we are going to take exactly 2 minutes, and I'm going to just explain what you need to do. We're looking at the individual right now. So all of you are doing it separately. The challenge is that in 2 minutes, exactly, you will try to make or draw as many things as possible. And the challenge is that you'll include the circle in will become a part of your drawing. So draw as many things as possible. And the challenge is that the things have to be named. You can't say that I have made this is a modern abstract art. It should be a thing that everybody recognizes and can name, right? So that is the challenge. And if everybody is ready, we can start. Can we start timing? We can start now. You have exactly 2 minutes. Let's see how we do. Please give a pen. Sir, पीछे से ले लो, पीछे से ले लो. Daman, can you lend your pen? Time is ticking, 2 minutes. Let your creative juices flow. Wow. 40 seconds left. Speed up.
Last 10 seconds.
Last 10 seconds. So it's a countdown now. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pencils down. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, can I ask if somebody managed to use all 30 circles and draw something or draw 30 items? You did? 30? 30 eggs. Very creative. Nice. Okay. Pooja has done all 30? Ah, pop it. You can pop it. Ah, that's nice. Absolutely. Anybody else who crossed 15? You did? Okay, nice. Okay, great. You crossed 15 as well? Nancy? Nice. Okay. What I will do is, I will kind of debrief, and so that you can have a look at what you did and compare it to some exercises. These are some of the, usually I take them from, workshops that are done by kids in schools. So this, in fact, I had better examples, but some of them are here. So mostly when you look at a round thing, you tend to draw a face, right? Yeah, faces. Sun is another common one. But, the ice cream is a little rare. And sometimes people combine two circles and make a chashma, right? Yeah, ear headphones, that is interesting. So combining two circles to make one thing, that is another interesting thing. So it is about numbers. Sometimes people do only 3. But look at the details of the flower that has been made, right? Yes, you can do anything. There was no other instruction. I just said draw and use caterpillar, yes. So this is something that somebody has done here as well. So people sometimes just, because there are no rules, they just combine everything and say, and 30 eggs is the first one, by the way. So I'm going to use it next time as an example. And yeah, so people combine things as well, right? So, polygon, whatever, I mean, yeah. But idea was to use the circles so that they become a part of your drawing somehow, right? It's not just about. So this is a test which is about divergent thinking. Divergent thinking is a very, very important part of being creative. Usually we are not creative because we don't think divergent enough. Divergent means thinking of possibilities. If there is a problem, we end up thinking of only one solution and consider to be that as the best solution. The point is, can you think of multiple solutions before you choose your best one? This is divergent thinking. It is exploring as many ideas as possible. It's spontaneous, free flowing. There are no barriers. You don't start thinking about budget nahi hai, time nahi hai, log nahi hai, resources nahi hai. Possibility socho. For example, in my class, when I say, let's solve a problem of going from Shulni campus to Solan town, I tell them, you at this point of time, you can even say, I'll build a rocket, which will be fired from here and I'll reach in 5 seconds to Solan. There are no wrong ideas. Once you are open with your ideas, you are flexible and open enough with your ideas, you tend to get some ideas otherwise which would have remained hidden. It is non-linear. Non-linear means it doesn't progress in a certain directions. You go back, forth when you think of it. This was a standard test of creative. So it's not something that I've made up. It's a standard test of creative thinking, which is called Torrance test, which looks at 4 dimensions of individual creativity and divergent thinking in particular, which says fluency. Fluency is the number of ideas you come up. That's why I asked, did somebody make 30 things? So it has to be total number of interpretable, meaningful, relevant ideas which were generated. Then flexibility is the variety, the number of different categories you were able to come up with. So for example, if you just took a circle and made faces, happy face, sad face, frowning face, and all 30 were covered, that would mean you are very fluent, but you are not flexible. On the other hand, if somebody has created different things, football, globe, sun, ice cream, and watch and so on, means the number of categories they were able to come up is more, so they are more flexible. Originality, something that people have not even thought of, like chashma is an originality, combining two things and creating something new. Somebody made a charkha, right? Kids make a fidget spinner, combining three of the circles. So that becomes originality. And then coming back to that flower you saw, where only the person had managed one, that is called elaboration. And that is also a very important part of creative thinking, is how much into detail of one idea can you go into, right? If you've made a face, how much detailed drawing did you do? So this is highest fluency. Faces, but only faces. Highest flexibility, face, wheel, ball. And, wheel, another wheel, ball, different types. Then highest originality, bomb. How many of us can think of a bomb, right? Or a balloon. Balloon is also pretty original, right? And then you have the highest elaboration. Anna also drew faces. Eric also drew faces. But look at the difference between the faces of the two. Um, Eric was so much detailed in his drawing. So that is another facet. So coming back to HR function and formation of teams, can you think of course, this is only one dimension of creative thinking or ability, but we can extrapolate it to larger. Can we bring in as much diverse talent into a team? Don't bring the same kind of talent. If everybody is detail oriented, then they will not come up with enough ideas. If everybody just comes up with a number of ideas, but none of them are meaningful, it doesn't make sense. So that is why this individual, so this covers the individual part of, now let's talk about group creativity, and we are going to do another short exercise. We will see how many of the other participants can participate, but can I have a raise of hand for how many external guests we have so that I can divide you into teams? So how many right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. We'll have you divided into 5 groups of 5 each. So some of you can move this side. We have 3 already, so 2 of you can come here. 1 and another one, yes. So you become one team. And the rest of you can become one more team. So of course, we can also do it with some other teams. Any other volunteers of 5? We can have 2 more teams. Okay, so here, Hasiba, don't be a part of it because you already know the so 5 here and maybe 5 here. Okay, so we have 2 internal and 2 external teams. And the exercise I'm going to explain is, now we are trying to bring in context. When individuals get together, how does the interplay happen between them? What are the things that matter? So one thing that we are going to measure is your mood, because mood affects the way you think. So we are going to hand out some pages or forms for you where you record. Even before you start your exercise, there are some demographics. And with your permission, if you allow me, I'll be using this as a part of a research paper that I'm writing, if that's okay with all of you. Right? So I'm going to take some simple demographic information. And then there is a form which talks about how you have been feeling over the past week. So you're going to fill that form. And then we are going to come to an exercise. And the exercise is called another standard test of creativity, which is called alternate use test. We take a common object and we think of as many possible uses of that object as we can. You will have 10 minutes to do it. So we will take 2-3 minutes to fill our demographics, and then we'll get in the group and we will start listing alternate uses of an old toothbrush. So we all know toothbrush is used for cleaning teeth, but besides cleaning the teeth, what can you do with a toothbrush? Okay, so that is the first part of the exercise. Once you complete that, I'm going to tell you the second part. So can we have these papers? Yeah, the one which are stapled, yeah. Passed around to our participants and to some of the internal groups. Yeah, so the whole group has to write together. Right now, you are just getting papers to record your mood. That is an individual thing. First, you finish that, then I'll give you the sheet to start writing your ideas. So only the first form after the first page, you'll fill right now. So this, and the second one, the second page, where you have to just say how you have been feeling the last week. So the first form only right now, turn the page. Yes, not this one yet. This one. So this is about how you have felt in the past week. Now, for now, only this one. Yes. And once everybody is done, you start writing your ideas here.
Okay.
How many, whatever ideas you have. Once everybody is done, you start discussing your ideas. Not this, not to be done yet. Not to be done yet. You have to discuss in groups now, in the group now, your ideas for the toothbrush. So I've given a sheet. Everybody will discuss. Not from now, right now. Now you start discussing your ideas and you start writing them. यहाँ कौन कर रहा है? बस सिर्फ नमिता. Now you start writing the ideas. Okay, if everybody is done with recording their past week mood, now I request you to get together. What do we suggest, Ashish? We move one group to the backside or we can take them downstairs? Yeah. So we can request this group to move at the back. Can I all request you to move a little to the back so that you can sit and discuss? Come. Yeah. So you'll have 7 minutes exactly to discuss your ideas and start writing the numbers in your lists. If you want, if you're okay discussing here, can we get a couple of chairs pulled out so that you can sit in a group? Maybe 2 people can, I'll just get. दो chairs इधर कर दो और 2 chairs उधर कर दो. You can sit like this. If you want one or two opinions, come this side. This side, this side.
Let Sachin be here.
So 7 minutes from now, where you start discussing, like writing your ideas, as many as possible. Okay, last 30 seconds. Then we'll move on to the next part of the exercise. Very short one. Okay, 10 more seconds and then we are done. And then I'm going to come separately to the groups and give them some instruction to complete the next part. Okay. Okay, I'm assuming that we're almost done. Just the best idea. And then we are going to call you to just tell the audience about what you felt about the exercise. Are you done? So we can collect. The other group is done. Are we done? Yeah, just okay. Take another 30 seconds and then we'll move on. Oh, nice. That's a good problem to have. Done, done, done. Okay, I think you should just write your best idea at the bottom of the page, or you can circle it. Okay, can we just move the chairs back, please? Okay, thank you so much for participating. I hope you had some fun. Now I'm going to call upon both the groups and take 2 minutes each to tell us a little bit about the process, what you felt. What is the number of ideas you came up with as a group? What was your craziest idea? And what was your best idea? Was your craziest idea the best idea, by the way? And I want you to talk about, I mean, HR people like to talk about it, consensus or conflict. Were there any arguments? But everybody seemed very friendly, but still you can talk about it. So I'll invite this team to come up on stage. And then I'm going to talk about a little difference in the process that we had for both the teams. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Everybody needs to come. आ जाओ. Please. Okay. All right. So let's start with the process. Process was very collaborative. Everybody is adult here, so very much we all started working on thinking about ideas. Yeah, there were some discussions around some things which will come on the second one, but process was very smooth. Everybody was coming up with ideas and we were putting it in agreement and then writing it. We have come up with 25 ideas. A lot of those are cleaning ideas, but separate categories. Okay. Craziest ideas. So there is no consensus on that because there are a lot of craziest ideas we have come up with. But one crazy idea was spreading butter over parathas using brush. So that I personally feel was the craziest. I think best idea was using it for painting creatively, that I felt. And as a group, we did not have consensus on that. Yeah, so that is, yeah, so best idea, everybody felt slightly differently. And yeah, that's pretty much.
So feeling empowered and delegated by the team here. The process we follow was a fast ideation. We focused on quantity, then quality, and later on, then we filtered based on the quality. So initial idea was to collect as many ideas as possible, and then look for the quality ideas. The craziest idea was using toothbrush as a weapon. In case wherever there is a safety issue, use it to poke the eye or wherever you want to the attacker. The idea which we felt is the best idea is, and it was very difficult to find the right English for it. Because we use it day in day out and we found that it is very household a usage or can be a usage, but we tried to put it as in English, that inserting elastic or a thread in your bottom wear. Right. So nada lagana. Correct. So that is the best idea we as a group thought of. And there was a consensus on both. So luckily the group was, equally crazy for that crazy idea and also for the best idea we could have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So there was a little bit of a difference in the process that we followed. Oh, yeah, we'll take the any crazy ideas, best ideas from the ones that participate. Yes, Sindhu, Amar. Oh, exfoliating your lips. Aha. Only girls can come up with that. So they suck on it when they are teething. Oh, that's nice. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Pradeep sir?
A scratching or a khujli device.
Khujli device for the back. Yes. Namita? Removal of
Crayons on walls.
crayons on wall.
Yes.
If you brush with it. Have you tried it? See, she has a young daughter at home. I'm sure she is talking from experience. Lovely. Jali cleaner, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Combs, yes, you can clean the combs with it. Yeah. Lovely. So thank you so much, everyone. Big round of applause for everybody who participated. And just to give you a little difference that we did, and that is what my experiment is all about. We are looking at this. I mean, my target, test audience is creative students from the universities. So I've been going around and collecting this data. But now, because I've finished collecting most of the data, I'm doing some special groups, and I wanted to do a group with industry professionals. And I got lucky that all of you are on campus. And what we do is your group was like a control group, and this was an experiment group. My objectives for my research are, I'm trying to find out whether mood affects the way we think up creatively, and I'm focusing on group creativity. And in group creativity also, I'm focusing specifically on the time when groups select the best idea, right? What is the mood at that point of time? Does that make a difference? And we try to do short intervention when you're about to select an idea. So the intervention, you being HR people, was that this group was allowed a democratic way. Group was supposed to decide the best idea. Here we chose a leader, and the leader was given the mandate to choose the idea. And that's why he mentioned that there was a little bit of, not the whole group didn't agree, and there was a little bit of consensus problem, but that was the instruction. I told them that the leader has to decide, nobody else has a say in it. So we're going to see, of course, there's a large amount of data which will be put into analysis. We'll look at best ideas. A whole universe of ideas will be created. And when the results come out, I'll let you know. But just wanted to end with this. Oh, sorry. Can I go back? Yeah. So this is proven, and I'm building upon this research, that when groups create, it is not 2 plus 2 is not 4. It is always something else. When a group creates versus when individual creates separately, the result is going to be different. Function is the creative ability of the groups, which I have been talking about. The group composition, how diverse is the group, right? Group characteristics. I don't know if any of you knew each other beforehand, and if that would have made a difference. Group problems, what is the process you followed? And of course, the contextual influences, which is my area of research. And mostly when I'm doing it with my students, I take one student group is kept in the class as a part of the classroom. Somebody is shifted out into an open area. One group is not offered any chocolate. Another group is offered a chocolate before they decide. So I'm waiting to see, and I'm excited about what the results are going to be. So this was a glimpse of how creativity works and works in organizational context. And I think it gives you a little bit of food for thought. If you're thinking about creativity, you have to think about getting diverse individuals on team. You have to create. So if something comes out of the research, for example, if I conclude that giving an incentive at the right point of time, where the time comes, because what is important for organization is the one idea that is chosen. The thousands of ideas that were discussed are not important, because that is going to be executed. So if you can do something to make that moment, more conducive to getting a right kind of an idea, that is what I'm looking at. Can we change the environment? Can we give them a better office? Can we give them rewards? Is having a leader helpful? How many members in the team, what backgrounds, etc. So all that I'm going to look at. But I hope this gave you some food for thought as to how creativity happens. Of course, this was an experiment, but your organization are the real world where all this takes place. So thank you very much for bearing with me and for giving me this opportunity. Thanks for the data. And I'm going to take this as a special cohort and include it in my writing, and I'll share it with you. If any of you are interested, because I'm now looking at experts who will kind of rank all the ideas that we have got, if you have the time and interest in it, please reach out to the team here and I will make you a part of it. If you can spare that time, I would be very happy if you become one of the people who kind of looks at all the ideas, ranks them before we conclude the analysis. So thank you so much, everyone. Yes. Okay.
Use a term nowadays a lot of the growth mindset, because creativity in the corporates are like without idea, without a plan, and without anything, it
Yes.
doesn't make sense.
Yes.
There's a wastage of the money and the resources. So the growth mindset is a broader term where creativity is an intrinsic part of it.
Okay.
So what growth mindset says is you don't have any boundaries, right?
Right.
So you don't think like problem as a problem, look at a solution. So there are multiple solutions to a problem.
Yes.
So when we say growth mindset is more of a startup way which has come up. So a
Yeah.
lot of startups are there in India. So they are basically bringing up this culture of growth mindset. So maybe you want to put in that kind of angle to the corporate way,
Okay.
that how this creativity can help in developing or maybe maintaining that growth mindset. Because once the growth mindset will come, the change and the agility of the organizations will definitely evolve
Sure.
very fast. So that will be one input from my side as a corporate, that you should include that, because definitely creativity is an important part of that.
Great. That's a great input. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And one cohort now I believe I should do with Chat GPT also. And let's see what it comes up with and compare it to the humans. So that could also be a special cohort. Yes.
Experience. So on the corporate side, very often, we see creativity more like an individual thing or a set of people only doing it. And sometimes, you can have a group working together and coming up with some creative solutions. And I remember, and this group, because most of them are from HR, they relate to this group. This actually happened many years back in Mercer. I used to work in Mercer that time. And I won't name the company, the client company is one of the big FMCG companies. Uh, they had engaged Mercer for the usual salary surveys, etc. And as a subset, subsequently, they came up with another demand that give us some solutions, study our setup and give us some solutions that how can we cut salary costs. Companies like Mercer, they don't get into that. I mean, particularly people who are in the comp and bench survey business, they don't get into that. And on top of that, in Mercer, we had domains. So there's a group which will focus on the FMCG, another group focuses on telecom, etc., etc. And this group was struggling. So what to do, what to suggest. And our regional leader, his name was Cameroon. So he came up, he just gave a diktat. Okay, I don't want your team to be there, just the leader, you be there. And let's get people from the other domains,
Yes.
telecom domain, etc., etc. And let's come up with some solution. Is it possible? And when the group collectively worked on that and they came up with solution, actually the client, they appreciated and they commented that we never thought that this could have been possible. So sometimes, whether in a group context, you can come up with more creative solutions, even in HR, in an HR domain as well. So just thought of sharing this.
Yeah.
Giving that exercise to them. This is one, like all the examples you've shown is the individual circles.
We can do a group one.
Okay, so when you are analyzing people from psychological point of view, and I think there were some psychology students also, and they should also learn from this. Whenever people are connecting the two circles, they're going out of the boundary, thinking out of the boundary. And also if they're connecting different circles, they can work in collaboration a lot. Okay, so that also shows some indicators when you are building up this small exercise. It can go like multifolds. And maybe I can tell you 10 more things, but that's the time constraint here. But one important thing is when you're connecting all these circles, it means you're a person who go out of your own self, look outside, connect others, and can collaborate as a very good team member. So when I'm like, look at a person, let's suppose I'm hiring, so I will look at that aspect also from there. Yeah.
So the test has been designed by a psychologist.
Yeah.
Has a lot of dimensions, but with
That's what I'm more interested in. That now I've noted down this and I will study it more. I'm more like,
Yeah, yeah.
but thank you for sharing this. I didn't know about this test.
Thank you so much. One more last point before I end. Hasiba, can you stand up? Hasiba is a student from Afghanistan. She's doing her PhD with us. She's also teaching online courses. She's done her MBA. Her topic is very much related to HR. It is, Hasiba, would you like to tell the name of your topic?
Sure. So, good morning to everyone. I am so happy to be among HR industry experts and also my senior faculty. So, I have done HR in my MBA. So then I went for PhD. So the topic that everybody is nowadays talking about diversity inclusion, right? So when we bring diverse workforce in our company, do we actually really appreciate, value the same? Or if we have policy about it, actually, are we implying that implementing the same policy for it? So my topic is talking about invisible form of discrimination, which is called microaggression, right? So some of you might have heard the terminology, or some of you may have heard for the first time. So it interests me because I am from sociology background also. So when we talk about HR, it is mostly dealing with human behavior problem. So my main motive is that to understand the effect of microaggression on OCB. So microaggression, to define it in a simple words, it is OCB. So first, to define microaggression, it is any sort of behavior comments that we pass through each other, which will demean our identity. It can happen based on our gender, based our religion, region, based our age group, right? So OCB is called organizational citizenship behavior, where employees goes beyond their job description, and or it is also called extra role behavior, where we go beyond our job GD, and we do for betterment of our company, organization, and also for our colleagues without expecting any reward. So microaggression has been found to lead to lots of, mental health issue, burnout. Employees will decide to leave the company. So one of the newness that my research will be bringing is not to analyze the effect of microaggression on these factors, but OCB. If employees are, doing good things, going extra behind their expected jobs.
So if somebody is from a diverse background, or somebody is, say, a different gender identity, and if they're trying to do something extra, are they being able to do that extra despite being who they are? That is the kind of. So she has a large questionnaire, by the way, and she would love if some of you could float it around your organizations, and if she can get in touch with you. So Hasiba, I think the organizing team. So she's focusing on companies in India, but she can focus on global company.
Indians and 50% Nepali. And it's a very good example that whenever I used to visit my office, I used to see groups. One is the Indian and Pakistani.
Yes.
And was like other countries like Lebanese and Egyptians and all that stuff. I always wonder why they have this.
Yeah.
And they used to have lunch together, each of the different tables. The problem was this, that all our Indian and Pakistani people were speaking in Hindi during their lunchtime or over the lunch table, which they were not able to understand. And all these Egyptians and maybe the Lebanese people, they used to use their
Arabic or
Arabic language.
yes.
So that was the problem, and the problem was from the India side because they started first. And they started speaking that you get lost when they are speaking for half an hour. That's also included. So they include them in their, and people said that it's my time. It's my lunch time. I can use it whatever I want to use it. But the organization culture says that you're a part of that structure that time. If you're acting in behavior also as an individual, but you are a part of that structure. Maybe that angle of global thing, there are a lot of things Maybe dressing, maybe in other things also now that.
Thank you so much. So I think Hasiba will reach out to some of you if you can help her. Thank you. I think I've more than stepped over my time. So you want to talk about it?
Okay, yeah.
It's already done, ChatGPT.
Hello. So just a thing, we wrote all the ideas. It was between our common group brainstorming. Not brainstorming, but whatever craziest idea we came to our mind, and we just wrote it without thinking. So our goal was to write as many craziest ideas which are not even done. So I just gave a prompt, and like ma'am said, how to use ChatGPT to rank these ideas. So ChatGPT ranked on a scale of 10, and the comments got were common, not practical, slightly more creative, like cleaning iPhone speakers, useful, but somewhat unique. So there are 15, 16 such ideas. So I thought just to share you how you can use instantly in your daily life using some prompts given. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashu, for such an interactive and an inspiring session. Special thanks to Dr. Amarat Singh, Director at SCDOE, for his insights. So we realize how essential it is to foster creativity and design thinking in individuals, especially in today's rapidly evolving world of innovation and ideas. So I'm sure you all are learning something new today. So continuing with this journey of learning and ideas brings us to another session for today. It's about the role of industry in academia. This discussion would cover the crucial synergy that is needed between academic institutions and industry practices. For this session, we are joined by Sachin Sharma. He's the Associate Director at KPMG India, and he would be sharing his thoughts on how industry and academia are working together to create learning programs for our future workforce. So let's all welcome him with a big applause. Okay. Okay.
Hi, everyone. All right. So the topic is, and maybe I'll introduce myself a bit and then we'll move towards topic. So I'm Sachin. I work as Associate Director with KPMG. I'm a learning and development professional, very closely related to HR in organizations. And I represent KPMG Learning Academy, or you can say KPMG Learning Services. Our role basically is to provide learning solutions to corporates as well as academic institutes. Today's topic is more towards academics, so I'll start with that. I hope everybody till last row can hear me. Okay, perfect. All right. So I was here at Shulini University almost 6 months back, Ashish. Yeah. So I'll start with basically talking about how what is the role of uh, you know corporates in providing students who are studying in undergraduate or postgraduate streams. What is the role of that and how KPMG does that? And then I'll come back to the Shulini part again. Okay. All right. So I'm an instructional designer by profession. And instructional designers always think from the perspective of learning design. Learning design comes directly takes us to Bloom's taxonomy. How many of you have heard about it before? Okay, perfect. So this is a perfect audience to talk about that. So industry and academic institutions, how it relates. I will take just one key example. In Bloom's taxonomy, we talk about 6 levels: remembering, understanding, then applying, analyzing, evaluating, and then finally we create or become an expert on a topic. Now, when it comes to conceptual knowledge, let's say MBA streams, it is very, very important for students to understand the concept. First, remember the concepts, understand the concepts, be it HR, be it finance, be it marketing. But it is there the professors play a very crucial role, making participants, introducing them to a new concept, making them understand it, taking them to Bloom's level 2. We also use a lot of case studies in academics, which where we try to take them to level 3. Some of you who are professors at this university, you might be using a lot of case studies with MBA students to make them understand the concepts better and application. So application part comes at 3rd level. Okay. But what happens is that application remains a bit limited because you are giving them a certain exposure to a case study in a limited environment. And when you go to corporate, it's totally a different ball game. So, I have seen people, who are very good at academics, who are, at top 5 level students. But when they joined academics, they joined industry, they started struggling. Okay, because it is not all about concepts, it's not all about understanding or how you implement it. So there is definitely a gap, we realize, and at KPMG Learning Academy, we try to bridge that gap. What is that gap? Basically, so I want to ask a question to you guys, and then I'll move towards what we are doing as a solutioning. So what gap comes to your mind when you think about a student who is just joining industry? What should be, what one word comes to your mind, in terms of the gap they have when they are aligning to an industry or joining a job? Go ahead, please. That fast. Okay. Yeah. Very, very interesting point. So yes, technology is changing very dynamically, and we have in industry, you keep on using new technology, digital transformation keeps on happening. But in academics, the rate is a bit slower. That's what he's saying. So I totally agree with that. Yeah, please go ahead. Okay.
Students who comes from the direct institutes or university or colleges, they have the different side. When they comes up front in corporates, they have a different perspective because they have shown the different kind of picture, like they will be the manager, they will be the officer, whatever, they will have the team like that. But they will not find anything like that.
So change in perspective. Yes. Thanks a lot.
Theoretical learning, experiential learning, and project-based learning.
Absolutely. That goes without
Because I think in corporates, we do and then we analyze the concept. And in academia, first we are mugging up by rote learning and we are not concerned with what actually we do.
Absolutely. Very, very nice point. Last response, maybe. Yeah, please go ahead.
Nowadays, according to modernization needs, so academic also implementing industry aspects, and which makes a revolutionary change
Okay.
in the world. For example, let us take most of the university, they are having center of excellence. Those company, they have tie-up with the university and they are making ready to industry, no need to give training to the freshers. So directly they are giving 1 month training, they are keeping on the client side directly. So
Very
that
nice.
was the changes happening frequently.
Absolutely. So that change is happening, and gradually academic institutions are taking those steps, and as well as industry is also very forthcoming in making sure that the students are industry ready and campus to corporate journey is smooth in the same direction. So Ashish, should I start talking about? Yeah. So in the same direction, KPMG in India basically has a very large academic, you can say, presence across India, not in terms of we have institutes, but we have tie-up with a lot of premier institutes and delivering a lot of programs. To take that initiative one step further, especially, and now I'm coming back to when we came to Shulini University 6 months back. To take that initiative one step further, we thought of launching a very unique proposition in market. So we brainstormed, Ashish and team and our team came here, and there was a very good discussion we had, and we came up to a point that there is a program required in market where industry is actually participating, not just giving a case study, not just being a part as a internship provider, but the industry is actually participating. So we, KPMG in India, decided, and Shulini University also came to the fore, and we decided to launch a joint solution in market, for which we have been working rigorously with Professor Raj, with Ashish, with Dipit, an entire team. So we will be launching an online MBA, which is joint program between Shulini University and KPMG in India. Now, and the key aspect of this program is that KPMG practitioners who are actually doing that work in KPMG will be coming as professors, or you can say facilitators, and delivering multiple courses to students online. It will also have certification opportunities for students. So there will be around 13 key certificates students will be getting as a part of this program from KPMG. Another key aspect is we are using a lot of AI-driven technology in this as part of our overall organization initiative as well. So a lot of tools, including authoring tools, AI-driven tools like Synthesia, will be used to create engaging content for students. And we will be making sure that the student who is coming out, completing this program, has all that is required in industry. So this has some of the innovative courses like communication skills from industry perspective. It has how you prepare people from campus to corporate. So that aspect is also covered there in a particular program, semester by semester. Yeah, so it is a very innovative program. And I'm very happy to announce it here in this forum. Yeah, Ashish, that's pretty much from my side. Thanks a lot.
So I would like to invite Mr. Munish Sarawat and Mr. Pradeep Sharma to kindly take over and continue with the discussion on industry academia collaboration.
You want to sit, Pradeep, or do you want to stand?
I'm fine. I think.
Happy Saturday. Okay. So I think we had the pleasure of meeting some of you yesterday evening. I know a few people by names and by faces now. It's always good to have people from the industry. And there's something, so, both Pradeep and me, we moved into academia from the corporate world, long stints, right? I would say it's a very beautiful space working in the industry and then coming to academia and actually going back to even the corporate world. If you can manage something like that, it is the perfect state to be in. So quickly, couple of things, I have a list of things on my mind, and then maybe we want to make this interactive, right? The way I see industry, academia, collaboration, as I was sitting, I just put few points. Curriculum plus course development. If you look at that, that's something that people don't get into. A lot of people think, we look at the bigger stuff, center of excellence, let's do this, let's do that. And we then complain about, youngsters coming and not skill ready, you attempting something from the other side, academia attempting something from this side. So there are micro interventions which can happen. In universities, obviously, you have a board of study, and eminent people from the industry are invited to be on the board of studies, right? So that's one way, but still a helicopter view. It's largely because people are busy, senior people are busy. You say, okay, maybe this is how you should have your curriculum, which is industry friendly and all. I believe that we can actually go down to course level, that, okay, there is a course on diversity. Somebody's talking about diversity, this could be a very, very practical course,
that can be built, people coming and doing a unit or a module, right? And obviously you have examples like KPMG teaming up and doing a full program. But that's one place where, because corporate people have limited time. So you could come in for interventions, bring in live projects, live, stuff from the industry. That's one place which can be done. Just on the borderline is our live projects, which is again, because I look after the business school and it's a residential program. I want to give a couple of examples where we started making attempts on live projects. So in our marketing class, somebody like you was here in a sprint program, which is very popular. He was the head of strategy at Escorts. We were chatting up, same kind of, maybe today something like this can materialize. And I said, what can we do? I want something which is live, which you're doing right now, which our students can get excited about. And he said, look, Kubota is taking over Escorts. I've been asked as a strategy head to put up a presentation to the board about selling tractors online, So this is something that I keep on telling people because we did this very recently. I said, okay, we'll team up with you, me and my professor of marketing, right? You tell us what you are doing. So he got his manager, we had a broad, outline, and we took it to the class. We divided the class into cohorts. And we said, okay, everybody will work on this. You'll do ground research in terms of consumer behavior, digital marketing, what went wrong when Scots tried to do something like this in 2011, So the class got really excited. And then we had the best presentation from the class. They interfaced with Kubota and, of what they did. They met farmers, they figured out, what is the generational change which is happening. And some of the suggestions, these were 3 or 4 suggestions which they incorporated in their recommendations. So there is those kind of live projects where you need more minds, bright souls, to come and work with you. But I would say on the other side, academia will be excited, but industry also has to be very excited about that. That's another thing. Consulting, we have faculty who does a lot of research. There could be an opportunity for them to consult, right? I have Professor Manjunath from my team. He was recently in Mexico, and being a professor from India sitting in Mexico, they were working with one of the biggest banks on structured notes. And that's another interesting bit which can happen. That we consult using a research capabilities along with somebody from your end. That's another area where a lot of collaboration can happen. CSR, corporate social responsibility. I spoke to a few people. There are institutions who have already ahead of the curve. I worked at Ashoka, and Ashoka is India's best collective philanthropy. And me and Ashish were saying, Ashoka's got deep pockets. A university like Shulni, which is creating impact at grassroots levels. This is the place where you need to meet our students and see. There's a girl from Rodu in Shimla. She's doing an internship with KPMG. And this is on merit basis. She's been selected by people. So there are so many stories where we are impacting lives, and what we are doing here on campus that, you could team up with us in terms of creating infrastructure, scholarships, knowledge centers. So those are things, again, where academia and industry can really collaborate. Teaching, we spoke about course, but some of you could come and teach a course module depending on your appetite. So I had a CHRO, the head of Godrej Agrovet. He was in midst of jobs. He said, I want to do an entire, he had previously taught at TIS. So we have been very welcoming. I said, can you do an entire course? My challenge is to you, including all the academic responsibilities that come along. He says, yes, I can do that. So he did that, if you can't teach a course, you can teach a module, right? So that is your taste of being in touch with students of, today. That's another one. And I think the centers of excellence that we spoke about, there are some very interesting things which are happening in the industry. We're talking about technology. There are things around behavioral change. There is AI. All of these could be converted into centers of excellence where we, co-create and coexist. So that is a list that I quickly put, and I would want Pradeep to come up with a few points. And then I think we want to hear back from you. Where do you think is the real opportunity for us to work with the industry? Pradeep.
Thanks. So, give a different context to this thing. When I look at our students, our whole setup, our students, they come from, again, from diverse backgrounds. Of course, in our case, a majority of them are from Himachal, right? And what I have observed over the years, I've been now associated with Sulni since 2017. Well, I'm a visiting professor, but I come in between. Yes, 2 years I was in Bangalore in between. But my own experience has been that our students they are simple folks, good intention folks, God-fearing people, basically good human beings is how I see our students by and large. And they actually need opportunities to get exposures. Now, we've had a good track record in terms of the students who get placed, who work in companies, they are doing well. The fact that companies keep coming back to us for campus hiring, it's a proof in itself that they are finding value in our students. But having said that, you can help us in terms of grooming them or preparing them a little better for industry. Now, I'm reminding of one episode. This happened, I think it was in 2018 or 19. One of our students, uh, she's a very bright student, and she got into a job through campus placement, of course, and we're hoping that she'll do very well. But unfortunately, she struggled initially, and we got feedback from the company. You were saying that a very bright kid, but this thing. So now it came as a surprise, and so happened a couple of days later, I got a call from her. And so she's telling me, sir, आपने जो पढ़ाया था, जो हमने पढ़ा, और इस वर्ल्ड में एक्चुअली चीजें अलग हैं. हमने कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा, ये राइट चीज होती है, एचआर में कोलैबोरेशन होती है, बट यहाँ इन रियलिटी ऐसा नहीं है. So when I got talking to her, I realized the understanding was different. Now, had she had some more exposure in the past, maybe having had more than an internship exposure, that would have prepared her well, and I'm sure she would have done well. Now, it's a different story that she is doing very well. And she continued in the same company for a few years thereafter. She did very well there. And then she subsequently moved on to another company. She's at a senior manager or an AVP level now. So she did that. But I'm sharing this as an example that you guys can help us in terms of preparing the students to be ready for industry through actually a direct exposure. Munish spoke about this good example of some live projects. And I'm reminded of another experience. This happened way back when I was in industry. I was heading HR for Tata AIG. I was based in Bombay that time. And so happened that once we, somebody contacted us, or rather it came through some internal higher ups. It came through a Tata group reference also. And they wanted us to support that educational institution. They were also running an MBA type of a program. And this institution was in a place which was somewhere between Chiploon and Goa. Many of you would know Chiploon. Chiploon is exactly in the remote areas between Pune and Goa, in that area. So मेरे पास आया, I was heading HR के, इसको क्या करना है. अब ये था कि because there was a directive from the top कि कुछ help करनी है, करो. So we said, okay, let's see. Spoke to our sales guys कि कुछ कर सकते हैं. We don't have an office there. We don't have an office in Goa. We didn't have a branch in Goa in those days. The closest branch was in Pune. So practically couldn't have. And then they want something live. And so the sales guys, they came up with, okay, they gave up with the product, okay, let's ask the students, we'll take 2 students from them and ask them to do a study in the rural market in that area. And they gave them some inputs. Of course, our regional manager did provide some guidance. And these guys, they actually came up with something useful. Of course, we had to change it. Our sales teams had to change it, and they actually implemented it later. But the reality is that, when I was in my seat there, I had a mindset, अरे ये कहाँ, ये चिपलून के पास में ही इंस्टीट्यूट है, इनको क्या हम लाइव प्रोजेक्ट देंगे, कैसे सपोर्ट करेंगे? And I've seen there are times where sometimes people may also think about Shulni. The Shulni is in a location where यहाँ के स्टूडेंट को कैसे एक लाइव प्रोजेक्ट दे दें. It's all in the mind. Believe me, it's all in the mind. We've had experience of our students getting live projects. They've done well. And we would look forward to more such live projects coming to our all functional areas. It could be marketing, sales, finance, HR, whatever area possible. Okay. And that will clearly help us in providing. And I think that is also another opportunity for you to hire people. Like this example I gave you about these two kids from Chiploon. We actually offered a job to both of them later. One of them took the job, the other person had other plans. And we actually got a good employee in the process. So person was prepared, in a way felt good. We supported that institution. And I'm sure you guys, if you think about it, you can have ideas like this where you can have. And Himachal is a growing market as well. So Himachal is also progressing. So there is, sometimes people think that Himachal एक hill state है, यहाँ economy क्या है, कुछ नहीं है. Guys, go into the market here. You will very rarely, I'm not exaggerating, believe me, you will very rarely ever find a beggar in Himachal. सोलन में जाओगे आपको बेगर्स नहीं मिलेंगे, शिमला में भी आपको बहुत रेयरली मिलेंगे. अगर जो कुछ मिलते भी हैं वो मेनली आउटसाइडर्स हैं जो आके वहां बेकिंग कर रहे हैं. So it comes from the fact that people are contented, they have money here. Fact is, aspirations are growing here. People want to do more, particularly the younger generation wants to do more. And it's a growing market as well. If you look at it from a sales and marketing standpoint, it's a growing market. You can come up with projects which can be beneficial for your companies, for your marketing and sales in Himachal. And you can use our students for that. So that's one idea I had, and I think that can help. And you can contribute, in the development of our students as well and preparing them for you as well. So, and in fact, Munish, I'd like to give it now back to them, and would like to hear from you some of your ideas, that what you think you can do, and in what ways can we help you, using our students. I mean, here the intent is also to use our students so that they also learn and benefit in the process. So please, over to you guys. Please come up with some of your ideas you think we can look at, and we can incorporate in our programs.
Like we have internship program for the students, right? I'm also talking to many of my fellow colleagues from different companies. Can we have some programs for the faculty members? They can go as an intern or something in corporate world and understand what exactly corporate is doing, expecting from the students, right? And because I could see so from a faculty standpoint, I could see they have very rich knowledge, subject knowledge. But on the practical implementation, which students feel ultimately when they get into the practical world, if faculties can also feel that and come and then share with the students. Of course, students need to go as an internship or any such programs. But this was just a weird idea came in my mind.
So you're saying Shulni faculty comes to your organization,
Yeah,
and mentors or shares something with the entire cohort, not just Shulni students.
correct.
Your MBA batch or internship batch or whatever it is.
No. I'm saying that faculties should go and understand. They should
Acha.
work on a live project.
Yeah.
With the
We'll be very happy to do it if you're calling us, if you're hosting us virtually or onto your.
So we need
it connects back to the live project that we are saying.
correct.
So in the live projects that we spoke about, we have a faculty who works with them, because we actually make it an assignment in the class. So you not only have the advantage of people with diverse backgrounds, somebody studying marketing, HR, blah, blah, blah. But you also have a faculty. And if the faculty could also be somebody like a professor of practice or even a pure academician, like you're saying, that also is pretty interesting because they also get a glimpse of exactly to what you're saying,
Okay.
But this is how you apply concepts. So we'll be very happy to do that. That's one thing. If you want to reach
Okay.
out to us, we can ask our faculty to.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll just add to that. We have a good mix for example, in our management faculty, we have a
Okay.
good mix of people who
Who work with-
have industry experience, as well as some people who have been purely academics, into academics for a while now. So I think this is a great idea in terms of particularly people who've not had exposure to industry. If they get a chance to work on a live project, even if it is a project for a week or 10 days, 2 weeks, I think it will provide a perspective which they can use to, this example I spoke about, this girl calls me up and कि जो हमने ये पढ़ा था पर यहाँ तो ये नहीं होता है. Actually, the first thought that at that time came to mind, अरे यार क्या हम ठीक से पढ़ा रहे हैं? हम industry के हिसाब से पढ़ा रहे हैं. And you're right. If the teachers also get that exposure, they'll be prepared and then prepare students accordingly.
Great. Just to add on to this point, and one such use case is we in our organization we do a lot of program for high performers, high potential. One such program we are doing with PwC. Now this program has a follow-up where the high business impact projects are being given to different cohort of people, which they work on their own with a mentor who is from the company. And then there is a coach outside, but the coach is, it's like a visitor or a guest. He comes and go in a very long frequency. In these BIPs, these are all cross-functional. So people don't have exposure of, like, for example, we are having a project from HR on establishing a culture of camaraderie and feedback. And it is being done by people who are in sales or manufacturing. Now they feel lost, and these kind of projects actually could be a good segue or good element where the faculties can plug in and be part of that, understand, because theoretically, how do you set up or establish a feedback culture versus how it is actually being done, because it has a study involved in terms of as is scenario and then what we want to do. And it gives you a broader perspective of how exactly it is happening in the industry. And it is very common across different industry if you look at from a culture perspective. So that kind of an exposure will also help a lot in terms of gaining the insights from industry and the practical challenges, what people feel to establish, let's say, culture, or maybe in the marketing side or sales side of it.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I just add one more key aspect because in learning and development, we in corporates, we talk a lot about a term called ALP. Okay, this is action learning projects. Now you're talking about live projects. Now, how it is slightly different and how the approach can also change there. As per recent LinkedIn study, the top two key skills any recruiter is looking at in students is decision making and problem solving. Okay. Now, what happens? A live project can become a very vague project as well sometimes for students. So there is something they are doing. A part of it is given to student. Student is working on it. They submit. Job is done. But if you take the approach of action learning project, their organizations need to give them real problems which organization is facing. And then they need to solve it while working with team members, and then need to present the solution at the end in front of their mentors, senior managers. So if we take that approach instead of just working with corporates on a live project, a part of it, I think it will give them more strategic understanding, which can help them crack interviews, how they solved a problem, how they made decisions in a given situation. I think that is also very important.
So we want a lot of that, as I said. So the Scott's example was, real project, our class presenting to their strategy head, right? So I'll give you an example. I really like what you're saying. Despite we teaching finance, marketing, everything, two things that I'm a big fan of is, you might have average grades in the class, but if you have the knack to solve problems, because you get valued in the real life also, we come from diverse backgrounds. If your problem solving skills as a management graduate, the ability to do that. So, we teach, there's a course which I teach called critical thinking and problem solving. And in the first run, so we had 146 kids, we divided them into cohorts. Now, the point is, where do I get so many projects which are time bound on a class? So we're talking about 2 months. Our kids go for internship, but when they go for internship, they're at the disposal of the company, right? You are actually mentoring. Here, it is in a class environment. So the closest simulation that we did, and I'm just talking, just being innovative, is I took 16 projects from, so 16 groups, 16 projects from the university. Things like streamlining our transport operations. People who come and, some of you were talking about yesterday, we had a bad ride, there's an element of customer experience in that, right? Do you get confirmation? Are we using technology? That the closest, surrogate to that would be in the hospitality industry, right? In terms of good services that you do. How people are not going to the library. How do we increase footfall in the library? What are the behaviors of the Gen Z? So increasing footfall in the library. Mess food. I used to crib about mess food. All of us have cribbed about mess food. Still that same challenge. Don't crib about it. How do you improve food quality? How do you improve residential life, right? How do you improve curriculum? Do benchmarking. So we had these 16 projects. Improve parking, issues in the library, in the university. So I am personally a big fan. So if you have short projects, real problems, any domain, finance, marketing, and I was talking to Vikram saying we have a cohort of pharma and healthcare. Do you want to bring, so, the kids, we have 8 kids who are specializing in pharma and healthcare, and all of them are doing quality internships. So we went to Chillaru yesterday. The guy who runs Chillaru is an entrepreneur, and he runs a pharma company called Rosette. So there are 2 people working with him in trying to figure out new markets for nutraceuticals and Ayurvedic products in Europe. That's a pretty interesting project, right? But that's an internship. So these projects, to what Sachin was saying, please bring them, but you'll have to be patient on those, because these are time bound and equally committed. Because there's a little bit of risk there, in terms of how people at the other side look at it. It's not an internship. But if you want to bring something to the class, we'll be very happy to incorporate it. Yeah.
And another thing which is very important is,
By the way, you'll also get to travel to Solan. I'll keep on calling you. Come for a review. So there is an incentive. If you want free food, stay in Solan, please sign up for these projects.
no, I think what's important part is slightly I'm going different. From a student perspective, I think this mindset is also very important, especially from the techies. I'm talking from that BTech students' perspective. The whole world is talking about AI and all those ML, blockchain, new technologies, new tech. But in practicality, the business, I'm talking of IT services company, 80 to 85% business is still legacy. So once student get into the corporate world, the biggest problem which we face with the campus hired freshers is that adaptability to work on legacy technology, right? Uh, Now, if organizations has only 15 to 20% projects on artificial intelligence or the new tech, all students can't be provided that, right? So they should have that practically, they should accept this fact that this is the real world. And of course, if I have an aspiration to get into an AI and all, maybe, I should learn side by side. And once organization gives me an opportunity, maybe in a year or some time, I should be able to grab it. So how to bring that mindset change before getting into the corporate, I think you guys have a very pivotal role to play in that particular part. That's one thing. Second thing I have experienced personally, and that's where we slightly get skeptical while going to um, you know universities or colleges which are in B categories. Because what happens, the sense of accountability which I was talking yesterday, and also, I would say they feel like, oh, it's internship. We have to just do it for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Then I'll have to grab a certificate. But actually, we ask them to work on a real problem. We want them to help us solving those issues, and we bet on them. So again, a mindset change. I'm not saying students from Solini because I have not experienced that, but I have experienced with many such universities and institute. So how can you people can inculcate that thought process in the mind of young students? That is something which is very, very important. Thank you.
So, firstly, guest, thank you for those comments. We are not a BCAT university. I'll give you an example. Go to Stanford. Find वहाँ पे बच्चे कौन सी university के? You'll find Shulni University. Yeah? So we have a process. We've taken tier 2, 3 students because that is core of what we do, right? Our students are in all Ivy Leagues. Our students are in virtually all top companies. Okay, in the next 6, 7 years, somebody was telling me that some of the top people in top private banks are on track to be amongst the leaders there, right? We actively want our students to go up. And that's why Manish, for example, has been driving it very, very actively, very, very proactively. How do we get students actually involved and for them to understand how important the company aspect is? So of course, sometimes the mind shift change in some universities. I don't think that's there with us. Right, Manish?
Absolutely. And we're a private university, so we're not bureaucratic, you know. So we don't revise our, curriculum once in 3 years. You know, Ashimam's here, we have a board of study. So, just day before yesterday, we was talking to the managing director of Morgan Stanley, right? He wants to be on the board of studies for management, So I'm having a conversation with him. So I think there are so many places where we can collaborate. But yes, I do understand, these are still students. So there's a little bit of patience required. But I also make the distinction between an internship. So when somebody goes for an internship, actually, being on the other side, we know what happens with interns also. A lot of times interns are treated like free labor, right? I've seen interns being given work, which is subpar to what they are studying or what they're doing. In banks, I've seen a lot of years back people making vouchers and all of that. They're not meant, they're not being, you're not brought a management graduate to do clerical vouchers, Let him think about a system, give them a challenge. And then, an intern is either 1 or 2 people. So there's this concept of work integrated learning, which an Australian professor brought. And I think Bits Pilani is doing. I'm again a big fan of that. That how do we look at work integrated learning, where there is constant exchange of internship is one part, this live project is another part, you bringing a problem to us is another part. So there is this constant exchange between academia and industry. We could be working on a big project, we could be looking at concepts around it, faculty is talking about it, and you're also talking, you come to the class and speak about it. There's this problem related to that we have sorted out, and that is one module of the issue, and some people, when you see that they are absolutely glued on to that particular element, they go on to do an internship related to that area, and then you absorb them into work, So there are various models which can be constructed. I think there has to be eagerness from both sides. And at Shulni, I don't believe, that we have any boundaries.
So Manish and
that's the best thing.
Manish and Pradeep here. So Ashish, I look at it from very different perspective. I think first is congratulations to you that you look at this way for your students. Very less universities look at it this way because I've been associated at least 15 to 20 universities go there. Even IIMs don't even think about this kind of thing. So they only think about internships, paid internships. They target an amount and all that stuff. My point is that industry needs you. And I tell you my problem. So if I work on a project, I lack that kind of thought process which these youngsters will think about that problem. So I need that input from them. You don't need us. We also need you actually parallelly, because nowadays the industry is also changing very fast. If I talk about my product today, I need inputs from these guys on a live projects like any other person. How they can think of my 40-year-old guy, a development guy, an architect cannot think like these guys. So I need to aid that person to think like that. So bring that perspective. Definitely, actually, we should look at. Internship is outdated. It is there as a part of some of the university and UGC curriculum. That's okay. We should respect it, but it's outdated. And obviously, it is just a pattern of few weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks when people do that. We take people interns as for 6 months as well. If you guys are interested, they can accommodate. I'm ready to take and offer it now. Interns in all field. It's not like in management. It is technical as well. Interns don't work as labor for us. We pay them obviously, but they work on projects which are project meant to us, that's one part. Other is the live projects, which I'm interested in, and I always train my team for this, that you need input from these young guys. Give them a problem, see how they come back to you. So this is how we look at it, a live project. That's not the responsibility for them, because these are very young guys. They can't take that authority and the responsibility to that extent what we expect from them to do. But yes, definitely on the live project, what are we expecting out of them? That's very important. The live projects, can they do live projects on research-based thing? I think very successful things we have done with the academia on this, that whatever research projects we have given to the students, they have given very good insights to us. So one is the data. Data is everywhere. Data is in AI. Data is everywhere. But insights are missing. And that's what my thing is. The insight is one thing which industry needs it today. We lack it. So data is all around. We have thousands of data points, insights. That's one thing these guys can bring to us. So research-based projects, development-based projects. We work thoroughly on AI-driven platforms. So I am okay. You give me 8 to 10 students now. We'll talk outside. I'm very eager to take them. We pay them as well. So whatever the honorary amount we can pay them. So we can pay them. They will work on the next gen projects. They get some kind of exposure. So we have to define what are we expecting out of these guys, because they are young. They are just come out of college. They can't be just like handling those projects which are responsible ones, but they can be a part of that machinery somewhere. Important part of insight, important part of the research, or important part of the perspective, important part as a thinker, important part as a doer kind of thing. Yes, you need some report to be done. This guy is helping you day in, day out. There's a teamwork going on. So these guys can work on those things. So maybe we have to look at that perspective from a different angle, actually. What are we expecting from industry?
Music to my ears. I think what you're saying, absolutely, that's what you need to do.
Absolutely exciting. And in fact, I'm so glad to hear that you guys are proactively doing it and looking forward to it. In fact, one of the suggestions that I would want to give to folks, all of you here is, I'm sure some of you are already doing it, but maybe you could, if you're not doing it, you can do it. Say, even when you're taking interns, yes, internship is part of the curriculum, etc., etc. If possible, please try and identify the specific project that you want the student or a group of students to work on. So if we know that, we can also help in preparing the students a bit in advance. What we practically see, like what Manish was referring to, that there are instances where students go there and, in the company they're doing internships, or, there's a term in Hindi, गवाची गाय की तरह घूमते हैं, like a lost cow. They are in the organization, कुछ पता नहीं है क्या करना है, right? Now, on our side, now Sachin, to what you just said, that preparing students to handle problems, to understand the context, we are also doing our bit even for situations like that. So we have now a process where each intern, we have assigned a mentor to them. So during the internship, we maintain a contact with them. There is a periodic connect with them to understand what's going on. And I can share with you my own experience with the interns I'm mentoring with. Some of them come up and said, I mean, 2 of them who are working in a public sector company project says, sir, यहाँ तो है ही नहीं, यहाँ तो कोई आने जाने का टाइम भी नहीं है, कुछ नहीं पता है. So says, okay. We then guide them, okay, you try and understand, process समझो क्या है, कैसे HR में कैसे काम चल रहा है. Both of them are in an HR, assigned to the HR department there. Understand that क्या problems हैं, problems कैसे solve होती हैं. Look at their policies, find out gaps in their policies.
both of them are working on a dam project in Himachal. कि ये डैम प्रोजेक्ट है, डैम प्रोजेक्ट में क्या इश्यूज हैं. Understand that. If you will understand that, you will learn to look at problems, maybe at least get some, maybe 2 or 3 insights on solving it. That's something which we are trying to do. But if we get that support, that people who are coming for internship, like you're doing a great job in terms of being clear what you want them to do. If we are also told, we can help in preparing them to some extent. And that will surely help them to deliver things better for you as well. So it can be mutually beneficial.
So on 6 months, just to add, I'm talking about the MBA program. We're talking the 2-year program. So the guys who are interning and coming back now, they go into semester 3, this is the second year. And our placements start from September, right? So many employers are keen that they come and spend 6 months, even prior to the part of the promotion kind of a thing, before the other guys come, at Shulni. And we're very flexible. So I'm talking about the last year batch, who got placed in October, third semester. I think 30 of them went into the industry. Their entire last semester was in the industry. And obviously, you have mixed bag in reality. So L'Oreal took a lot of our kids. There is one guy, Shubham Conclave, I know, and he's already got promoted. In those 6 months, he was doing a study of all distribution channels and all for L'Oreal in North India and all. He was part of the sales champions in Bangkok and all. So we're flexible. So UGC might say XYZ, we do an equivalence. So we, in addition to the industry internship, we treat it like an industrial placement. So there is flexibility at Shulni, Yeah. Yeah. The guys who went into.
So these guys have done the internship in, let's suppose, FMCG.
Yeah.
Find a leader in FMCG from the industry and connect with them to this leader. They have done that. So because if, let's suppose, the tech industry connect with me, so we can guide that like, okay, fine, these are the opportunities. This is how you need to kind of approach the jobs in the market. This is how you can do that, because we know that industry, So these people, advantages, already done that internship, some exposure is there. So they are not unknown to that cohort.
That's a
so
good,
create a
good
cohort
yeah.
kind of thing where FMCG guy connected to FMCG leader in the industry, a tech leader thing it connected to a tech guys who have done the internship in tech. These groups, they connected, and in turn they also connect each other on some interview tips, on some of the things of the company, to know that these companies are coming in the campus. How do I present myself? And also because this leader will be able to guide them. And this is all the industry academy, I think, also happen, not only one, but you can individual level also you can help that. So these students being guided by this leader, that yes, let's suppose KPMG is coming. There's the guy from from Big Four. The consulting organization, they look at it like this. They look at people from this perspective. This is how you to prepare. These kind of perspective, maybe questions will be there in the interviews, or else you approach these guys for the jobs, maybe post campus, because I'm not sure 100% placement happens, but placement can happen after 3 months of your pass out also. So that is a very critical thing. The
So interestingly, we have in MBA 100% placement record. Everybody gets a job at Shulni. So that's a big thing, in terms of transforming lives. Our median salary is 8.5 to 9. So we obviously have ICICI banks of the world who take our kids, but we equally have KPMGs where our students are going, to what Ashish was saying. So there have been people in Mercer. Pradeep has worked very closely in mentoring kids. So we have a lot of interventions, some of this sprint that we do, it's again proprietary that's going to start for the new batch. But for this batch, we have something on advanced training program in September. So we stop their classes for 12 days. They start at 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. We have practitioners again coming and talking to them about various things, maybe finance, HR, marketing. We have a career coach that we have. And this year, what we are also trying is, in batches of 160 or 200 is a big cohort, right, relatively. So we've come up with the concept of Super 30, Super 60. People who show more, commitment to go beyond what it is. Because we are dealing with Gen Z, where they don't want to work hard, right? So these are 30, 60 people in comp science, in this thing was saying, I'm signing up for a great career. I actually want, to compete with the very best. So these people will go through an extra grind. Again, they'll be given some projects and all. So there are a lot of interventions, but I like what you said, even for internship presentation. So they start from 1st August. We will bunch them up and, then for those 8 people who did an industry specific, maybe in financial services, we'll get somebody to listen to them, So thank you for that suggestion. And we'll reach out to all of you because, we are having these conversations. We don't want these conversations to die. We'll take all your numbers. In ATP, I'll invite a lot of you, whoever wants to come for 2 days, 3 days, and bring in your perspective. The sprint seats are full, interestingly. That's 14 days, So for next sprint, but Ashu ma'am has a lot of other forums. We do something very interesting where you should come, which Ashu ma'am champions, called Spring Fest. So we have writers, academicians, people from the corporate world who have written books. There is always something happening on campus.
Yes, what Gaurav added and sir also spoken about that. We have to identify some problems as most of the corporates problems are always remains in the news sometimes. And we know also what's happening in which industry. So we have to identify the problems from there also. And on the basis of that, we have to make some projects and assign some projects to that. And as we are here from the corporates, we also have so many people from corporates also. You can identify few candidates or students with them also attached to like career coach or what to guide them and have virtual session or physical session. What are the possibilities there? They may help, they may have some exposure, they may have some input or insights from that side also. And particular industry, you can have the person from the HR, you can have a person from finance, marketing, like that. You can associate few, 2-3 person to a student with one. So they may have the meetings on virtual, monthly or quarterly, like that also. They may help also.
On this internship thing that we're doing, this mentorship that we're doing, like what Munish mentioned, the hard reality is, 40 to sometimes even 50% of the students, they don't get clear projects, right? And sometimes students are really in a sort of a gray. Now, each student who goes through this internship, whether he or she has got a project or not got a project, when they come back, they will have to present, they will have to make a report, and they will also have to present to a group on their internship. So I encountered this from the 2 students I was mentoring. कि मुझे तो कोई project ही नहीं मिला है. So I don't have a project. I just come here, they give me sundry work. कभी मेरे को data entry कराने को बोल दिया ये. So we are not handling it like that. Look, it is still a project. You have to come back and in your project report, share with us, what did you learn? What were the practices there? What were the policies? What do you think could have worked better? Look at it practically, not just what you have learned in class. We want that in your project report. Agar aapko project nahi specific mila, we want that. And I think, like Sachin, that also is a thing which helps them to think and look at problems and preparing them to solve some of those problems. So we are doing some of that. Yes, it takes time. With some of the students, it becomes a bit complex. But from our side, we are clearly very, very committed to help them to learn from this. And as I said earlier, if we can get internships with clear projects, and if we can get to know a bit early, I think that can be much more meaningful.
One more point I wanted to add, I think that has not been touched upon. You have to understand that we as a university, and particularly as a research-focused university, have unique skills related to academic writing. So case studies, from the industry. So I think some unique thing happened in a industry or in your company, which you want, to become like a case study which can be studied by students, not just in our university, everywhere else. So it can be something as simple as, it is brought into class and you come and talk about it, or it can be actually printed as a case study, which can be circulated. There are many forums. There is the highest being HBR, etc., where we can try with our kind of skills to write something that, about something unique that you have done. So I think that is one more area that we can look at. I think there was a point.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. The HBR one, and I, being a career in EdTech, we have actually worked with a lot of HBR case studies, which have come very, not only HBR, but case studies created by, prominent professors, which came very handy for even professionals to understand the concept. So yeah, I think that's a very good point. I just wanted to add a follow-up to both points. I think given the sheer number of students and universities, having a real problem or project sometimes becomes a challenge to give to everyone. So what we have done and we have seen in KPMG, let's say there is a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt program. Everybody has done that. Now, how to look at projects? So there was a university in Pune. So those students be given a project in their real world. So think about something. Maybe you're coming from a route, how you will reduce the distance or save money. Think about your mess where you eat food. So one group of student, and this is for more enthusiastic students I'm talking about, they took the mass project and implement Lean Six Sigma there. Okay. And you won't believe they were able to save 80 lakh rupees in a year for that particular mess. Now, when they are going to a recruiter, they are going on a job. Think about the confidence level they have. Think about the problem solving capability they have, and they can explain that very well. So I think real project, as you started, I think your session with, uh, projects are everywhere, problems are everywhere. The thing is to making sure that coherently how we can think about a process. Maybe industry practitioners can mentor people on real projects also, not only industry projects. That also sometimes helps. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Saj. Is it time to wrap up? I don't know how much time. I think. Yeah, we've already crossed time. Okay. So I think so. Time to thank all of you. It was a discussion rather than anything else. Yeah. So thank you, and we will not let this finish here. So we'll take Ashish. We'll take all the IDs and all. We'll try and test what we say here. How many of us from both sides will back up what we say?
You come up with, if something else comes to your mind, anything else we could look at, you could, please, we'll be very happy to hear from you. We'll see how we can implement it here.
So thank you, Manish and Pradeep, for a
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
session. So in the interest of time, let's have a tea, guys. And after that, we are going to have a book launch. And then we'll have the last session. I hope everybody is okay. Okay, thank you.
who bring a wealth of knowledge and practical experience to this discussion. So without further delay, please join me in welcoming our esteemed panelists. First, we have Anand Pachauri, Head of L&OD at Jindal Stainless. Gaurav Sani, Global Chief Human Resource Officer at Wadhwani Foundation. Next, we have Dr. Nepal, HR Head at PSP Bank and member NHRD New Delhi chapter. Then I would like to call upon Dr. Tarun Gupta, Director Operations, SCDOE. This session will be moderated by esteemed Professor Manjunath, Director of Academic Affairs at Shulini University.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you guys are enjoying the stay here at campus. Right. Excellent. So we are at the last phase of our HR conclave now. Thanks a lot for coming all the way and being a part of this HR conclave. To set a tone on the topic, implementation of AI in HR, best practices, I would like to start with my experience and the exposure. Before I do that, with due respect, I would like to thank Ashish sir for giving me an opportunity to be a part of one of the assignment, which I had been recently went to Tecnológico de Monterrey as the university as a visiting professor, global visiting professor. Now, when we talk about the AI implementation, yes, I was able to witness something in terms of AI-enabled university, wherein since yesterday we were talking about the ChatGPT, most of the people were referring to the ChatGPT and the outcome and the kind of activities, what people does. There at the university, they said, you will be given with everything. Like yesterday, one of the audience asked a question, can I use AI in the interview? And that happened a kind of a sound and a blockbuster kind of discussion for some minutes, I would say, right? Now, that university says, we are giving you everything for your assessments. Now we will challenge you. And the professors are called as a challenge. I would also like to pick up one point quickly here. One of our panelists were talking about in terms of making professors to go to the industry. Yes, I was a part of Finamex company and the Actinver company on behalf of the Tecnológico de Monterrey. I took the students over there and then I was asked to sit over there and then we were asked to come up with a financial product and to construct a portfolio for the investors. That was the real-time challenge which we encountered over there. Now, setting the tone in terms of implementing the AI, like when we talk about the ChatGPT, that university came up with something called as the Tech GPT. Like where we talk about the knowledge management, the resources. Thank that at Shulini University, we have a SharePoint where we keep all our resources. All the teachers will be keeping the resources and these resources are accessible to the students, faculty members, everyone. Now, same kind of resources are utilized and then they're built a similar kind of algorithm, like what we call it as a ChatGPT. And that is where the students are allowed to use the Tech GPT rather than the ChatGPT. ChatGPT was not at all encouraged within the campus. Now, with that idea, and then coming back to India and the Indian context, I, as a professor of finance and business analytics, always I get a kind of question from my students saying that, sir, what is that? The analytics or the AI you talk in the class? Can you show us? Because I remember my MBA days where my professors were giving an example, showing us like what a finance function is all about, HR function was all about, marketing aspects. But with respect to the AI and the analytics, this is the great challenge. I will be definitely requesting you guys on behalf of my students, on behalf of my faculty fraternity, on behalf of my Shulini University, to help us to understand what is AI according to you and your company, and help us to connect the dots between AI, IoT, data, analytics. Before I ask you to proceed with that, the reason behind this question is 45% of the companies are still in the phase of exploration stage to implement AI, according to the latest 2024 industry report. It's only 22% of the companies who are aggressive in terms of pursuing the AI implementation, and 33% of the companies have already implemented, but it's a limited implementation of AI. With this context, I would like to open the discussion and would like to know what is AI according to you and your organization, and help us to connecting the dots: AI, IoT, analytics, data, digital, so on. Now I'm open for hearing from the horse mouth, please.
Maybe I'll just put one line and then I can pass on, keeping the time in mind. So for us, AI, if I have to put it in a simple sentence, is a technological support which helps us do certain activities and tasks which require to a mediocre extent of human intelligence as of now.
Okay.
As first of all, I would thanks Professor Assis, Sunni University, and the teams for giving us the opportunity of being here. My heartfelt thank you so much. And pertaining to the question, my response is that our founder of yesterday, one thing has very clearly in the layman language, what I have learned in the first instance, that what is the AI? AI means apna kaam dusre se karwa. That is simple. We have shifted our work to someone else. Like being in the role of the leadership or in the handling the team, there is also the role to get the things done. So the work is shifting to them. For them, the things, the guidelines is the AI. They refer and do process. Similarly, the AI is, as per our knowledge, is it's enable us. It's enhance the efficiency, productivity, bring the process orientation fast, which also explore to the cost reduction, transparency in so many other ways. It helps in that way. So those point of the AI is along with the human being, it's a human intelligence and machine intelligence, a collaboration. That is the AI in HR. They can't be in silos. They can't use in silos. Neither the human being nor the AI. Both has to be collaborate hand in hand. So to enhance the productivity, to enhance bring the happiness at the workplace, to efficiency, and to improve the process and enablement and adapt the technology. So that is for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so difficult question. So let's divide this into 2 or 3 parts. Current AI is a toy. Current AI is a toy which, as an infant, all of us are playing with. As infant plays with the toys, he doesn't or she doesn't know that ये toy क्या है, उसको entertainment purpose के लिए. So current AI is we are using as a toy for our entertainment purpose, and something of learning also comes, and we exploration phase में है. So the child explores also. इस toy के अंदर क्या है? And some of the कुपेड़ी जो बच्चे होते हैं, and they break it also. Sometimes we do that with that AI. So current state of AI is that. How it's going to evolve? So 3 to 5 years down the line, AI will be, so one more thing, AI was there for decades. It is nothing a new thing. In 1970s also the AI was there. In the form of machine learning, other things and all the stuff. Now this been prompt engineering has been added to it. And some part of generative AI has come. So that's why it has become little complex and very common man usage kind of thing. But AI, it was there already for 5 years back also. जब Amazon पे आप buy करते थे, आपके pop-up आता था कि you last time you bought it, that was also an artificial intelligence somewhere. Myntra पे जब buy करते हो तो आप pop-up होता है last time you left your deal here, आपने ये suit लिया था और you were looking at that color, would you like to see it again? Okay, flight bookings and all. It was all there. It was in form, some other form, it was there. 3 to 5 years down the line, AI is going to replace all your cumbersome jobs. 100%. Accept it, don't accept it. Jobs means doesn't mean people will be unemployed. So ये हमारा बहुत बड़ा myth है. We need to understand this, that jobs means the roles, not the people. The roles is basically any kind of role which includes a lot of administrative things, lot of data crunching, back-end operations, voice-related processes, other things which can be automated. So that will take away. So everything will go away 3 to 5 years down the line. India might be little delayed. The impact is already in the US and the Western world. So 5 year India mein nahi hoga, to maybe it will be 5 to 7 years max. But it is going to be there. So अगर हम आँख बंद करके बोल रहे हैं कि सामने रात हो चुकी है, it is not like that. It's still day. So please woke up those who are doing the administrative job. Now what they have to do. So these roles will change to managing those things and giving the prompt to these tools. So these people skills will be used to give these prompts to these guys. And how do I place these in the right sense and the right context? So those people have to develop those skills. That what will happen 7 to 10 years down the line is going to be a part of our life like mobile phone today. So if you ask someone 30 years back, would they imagine a device like this, what you're carrying today, that you can do everything on the mobile? You don't need anything. You don't need a pen, paper. You don't need money. You don't need anything actually. Even the ladies don't require a purse also now. Right? So nobody could have imagined in 30 years back that I will have such a device which will replace everything for me. I just need that only. And future में तो खैर mobile भी replace होने वाला है, वो अलग बात है. The thing is, nobody imagined it. So imagine this, the AI is going to be a part of your life to that extent that it will be inseparable, like a mobile phone. If I take the mobile phone, it feels like I've taken one kidney from your body today. ठीक है, डिहाइड्रेशन में इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, आपको चक्कर नहीं आएंगे जितना आपको मोबाइल के बारे में सोच के चक्कर आ जाएंगे कि खो गया या फिर कहीं रह गया. It's a fact. So it has become so, and it is not about that we're addictive. No, it is about that it has become a part of our life. It is a part of our body, part of our thought process. So be ready. It is going to be that way. It's not scary at all. Embrace it. Enjoy this. Be open. Okay? Because it's for us. We are building AI. AI is not building us. So that's other way of looking at it. We built up the mobile phones. Mobile phone did not build us. But we are dependent on mobile phone. That's the story, right? So how do you become dependent on that is different thing. So very good example is to understand a mobile phone thing with the AI change. So that's my few lines about it. And you have to look at it AI like that. And it can be in HR, it can be in business, it can be your life. It is going to enter your house as well. It's going to enter there. Going to enter in your bedrooms, in your drawing rooms, in your everywhere, it is going to be there. So be prepared.
Thank you.
Well said, Gaurav. So my thought on this, first of all, we had previously conventional HR managers, and now we have business HR managers, or we are having business HR heads. So earlier, also, I think now HR analytics is one tool which was earlier being dealt through Excel and all. So I think AI has been one area wherein we are using artificial intelligence through Python programming, and this is that the HR manager is able to get better solutions for those sundry works wherein those jobs where not much time should be his, and so in all such areas AI is playing a very vital role. So this is one part of it, and so AI is playing a very vital role in all these things. So, and second thing, as we were discussing, so it has to be pilot based. It has to start in a few steps. We have to check whether it is going right or wrong. Then ethical part also needs to be checked, and feedback and evaluation mechanism also becomes important. So all said and done. So this is how I perceive artificial intelligence.
Great, sir. Thank you. Well, I really like the word what you said, Mr. Gaurav, infant. Yes, I really like that word. Just to add in line with the discussion what we are doing here, according to the We Forum Research 2024, they say 97 million new job roles will be emerging in the upcoming days. And that is where now we need to be ready. Yes, thank you for putting a point on that. Now, again, in the same context, when I was in this Mexican assignment, I happened to meet a professor by name Professor Lewis. He was 74-year old. I just asked him a question, sir, what is AI to you? And then he differentiated the AI by citing two examples, saying that AI for me is I have a teaching assistant with me who will be helping me to do my job here because I'm a senior professor. And then he said that AI, the one which you asked about, it is a trained assistant. Then I was like, trained assistant and educated assistant. Now, when he made that statement, I asked him, can you please elaborate? He closed the discussion by using one word. And I was really amazed to know that. And that is where yesterday even people were talking about. And that word is common sense. He said, for me, I have a educated assistant with common sense, like us, teaching associates, and the AI trained assistant without common sense. And that was the response which made me now to feel like, yes, we have everything. And now how do we validate that? Just to support this discussion again, one of the top university from the Mexico by name UNAM, UNAM, they approached me in terms of playing a role of a consultant for them. And then that university has given a entire job of curriculum development, curriculum enrichment, conducting the evaluation for the students, everything outsourced to a IT company. And that IT company asked me to play a role of something. And I was really excited. Why? Because coming from India and then knowing the context of AI and then being into the analytics, so talking about so many tools, techniques, I was like, what is that expectation is all about? They said, we are using AI to build a curriculum. They said, we have prompt engineering experts. Those are designing the curriculum, questions, question papers, evaluation patterns, everything. And now they said, we are expecting you to be a consultant for us to give us sign off saying that, yes, the work done by AI is good to go. And I was very happy. Why? Because AI, it is again, as you rightly said, we human beings are building that. And again, we are giving the acknowledgement saying that, yes, whether it is right or wrong. So that in that way, I was very happy. And I said, thanks to AI, because AI made me to identify something which I was not aware of and playing a very important role. Now, sir, coming to the next phase of this discussion, I'm eager to know that since we have three industry people here. Now, what is that your company is thinking about the AI implementation? Because as the core aspect of this particular discussion is implementation of AI in HR best practices. So we are really interested. I'm personally interested to know from you guys, what is that and how is that your company is looking forward? Before I go to Jindal Steels, just 4 days back, the director of Jindal Steels made a statement on the AI on manufacturing sector, and he is expecting that 14% efficiency improvement, quality improvement, sales picking up. And he was talking about one platform, bringing the HR technology into one platform, and that is called as JI, Jindal Industries G. When I read that article and when I got to know that, yes, I'm the part of this panel discussion, I was really interested to ask that question and then hear from the Jindal Industries, stainless steel industries. Over to you, sir, please now.
So thanks, and also thanks for correcting. It is Jindal Stainless. And you rightly mentioned about the article from our managing director, Mr. Abhyuday Jindal, talking about AI in our industry. And when we specifically talk about HR and integration of technology there, I think it's important also to
for a larger audience here to understand why do we bring technology or digital interfaces, right? And before that, let me also ask you a very simple question in terms of, do we understand the difference between digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation? Because that is also an important piece. We very frequently use these terms interchangeably with each other and do not understand. There is a difference between each three of them. I will leave it as a homework for all of you or those who do not know, but let me focus back to the digital transformation, which primarily talks about end-to-end digitalization of processes, whether it is customer interface, whether it's your processes, or whether it's your products and services. And within HR, we are also looking it from that perspective of either we digitalize our processes, digitalize our product and services, or digitalize our customer interfaces. And we have divided the employee life cycle with respect to technology intervention and digital transformation into three stages as of now, which is attract, develop, and retain. And for each of these three areas, separation is still there. I don't want to talk because it's not that fancy and also not very something which companies proactively look for, because we don't want people to separate. But these three buckets of attract, develop, and retain has different touch points where you bring technology. Whatever I'm going to quote is not something which we are doing, but at least it is it's on the table. Some of the things are already in advanced stages of adoption, whereas the other pieces are where we are exploring. So when we talk about attraction, there are two pieces. One is attraction, or rather the activities which are before even a potential candidate comes into picture and existence with our recruitment framework, which we talk in terms of employer branding. So how we create our own presence, like you mentioned, Jindal Steel, and I mentioned Jindal Stainless. So we have this significant challenge of having our own identity being created and identified, right? It is being again interchangeably used, and we are being identified as Jindal Steel, which we are not. We are Jindal Stainless. We are the largest and leading organization in India in producing Jindal stainless steel, right? It's a different product category. So we are still having that struggle. And therefore, when it comes to employer branding, it becomes very important for us to create our own brand, create our own identity. And for employer branding, we are looking for options which are more bot driven, which are more user oriented, which we can deploy easily in campuses for people to interact and understand and learn more about our organization. Then the second piece, again, from a industry perspective, and those who have been associated with the manufacturing setup, the biggest issue we get is an infancy attrition and the cultural integration of new people, especially coming from campuses. Because once they come to the industry environment, it's a hardship space. People get the shock, cultural shock, and especially now, when everybody wants to work in a corporate setup, in an office, in an AC environment, how do we manage? So for that also, we are trying to bring in the technological support in terms of AR, VR for providing them the real feel. Although it might have some negative impact of having, let's say, dropouts, etc., but at least we are setting the expectations right at the very beginning of it. So that is with respect to, the branding and pre-onboarding and pre-joining activities. But when somebody joins in, we have put in place a 5-5-5 model, which is 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months feedback from the new joiners. Again, from an employee integration perspective, how our systems are helping us, giving us that input after 5 days, 5 weeks, and 5 months for us to keep a track of it. So that is on the onboarding part. Then again, I'll not touch upon the induction, everything, because that's very common practice where we use technology nowadays and use AI in terms of content creation. Moving towards the attraction development part, which also includes the management. Here you have a lot of touch points, right? Starting from talent assessment. That is being enabled with a lot of assessments. Yesterday also we had a lot of assessments, which gives you analysis of the reports, the potential of the candidate, many other things. So these are something which we also bring in our organization. For development, yesterday we also heard about personalized content and personalized learning journey. So this is something we are very much focusing right now to ensure, because earlier the concept was one size fit all, which is not the case now. We say one size fit one, or at least a few. So therefore, from that perspective, how can we customize the content? While the repository will be standardized, the customization of content based on the skills what I tag to my profile, the job descriptions what I have, how the system starts giving me the recommendations. The skill benchmarking I do vis-a-vis other industry using that platform helps us to judge myself where I am today and where I want to be. And to cover that journey, these are the elements I need to consume. Let me ask all these people, how many of you have added skills to your LinkedIn profile? Can I have a show of hands? Yeah. I see some partially raised hands, some hands are fully raised, but I assume, a lot of us have added. And I was speaking at ETHR 2 days back, and we were talking to the LinkedIn team there, and they were saying that the LinkedIn, in most of the cases, know more about the organization know more about the employees of an organization than the organization themselves. Because a lot of people add a lot of details to their LinkedIn profile, which is not there on their HRMS, etc. So how do we bring that detail to our system? That is kind of an integration we are looking at to bring all those insights from LinkedIn, from Ambition Box, from Glassdoor, and use it for our own talent development programs. Now, at the back end of it, from HR perspective, how do we do content generation? So we have AI-enabled content generation tool, which we are using for creating those bite-sized content, or even for a content which is relevant for more mandatory and non-mandatory programs. It has reduced our expenses and the time to produce the content drastically. Now, within 2 to 3 hours, we can get an easy alpha version, which used to take at least 2 to 3 weeks when you have a dependency on a vendor. So that is on the development part. And last, fitting into the the retention piece. So again, for retention, the pulse check, yesterday we talked about Infido. We are bringing something what we are calling as a chief learning officer, which will be an assistant to the CHRO. And this is, while it will continuously feed in the input to the CHRO, it will prompt the PTMs, the people to meet, because it also does the sentiment analysis of the way people are responding and talking to that bot. And based on that, it gives the CHRO an input that this is the person you need to talk immediately because there is a distress. So that PTM concept is something which we are also bringing in for the CHRO to directly keep a track of what are the red zones, what are the areas to tap in and intervene from the leadership directly. So these are some of the things which we are doing currently.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Very pertinent question about the AI in the organizations. I would say AI, as per us, in our organizations, is a much on the lip service rather than in practice. But there's a digitalization of the things first. And we are doing the digitalization of so many things. Fully digital transformation is going on in the organization from the last 2 years, as well as the HR transformation also being on the digital platforms. So of course, we are having the digital HR, HRMSY, all kind of the activities and process on the system digital. But beyond that, like the targets, assessments, performance review. Now, earlier it was the quarterly assessment of the performance of the branches, officers. Now it's become monthly from this year. We are allocating the targets. It's centralized or percolated to the branches. The score on the performance of the growth is become automatically monthly basis. The score come automatically. What we are using there, we are using there the cohort system. Cohort system means there is a pin code, as we are know about the pin code in the location. If there are 10 banks in 10 bank branches in that location that attached to that pin code, we are getting from the some means RBI or some other agencies linked. We are getting the data how the growth of all these other banks in deposits, advances, or on different parameters. As per those growth parameters, we have assigned the parameters also. If that is the beyond that or down that, the score will be according to that. If they are going beyond the average, or what is the cohort system says, so the office, the branch will get some advantage or privilege, some incentive kind of things. So these kind of transition we are going in the organizations, and like the feedback system, we are having the coaching system in organization, which is already totally on digital base. The assessment of the senior executives on system, the coach is engaged with them, to give the session, assess, to go for the executive go some assessments, and on the basis of some traits, they got some counselings or some discussions with the coach. After that, they go get the 360-degree feedback. That feedback in twice a year. After the every 6 months, they get the feedback from the peer system, from the seniors, juniors, and as well as the outside also. So the feedback also speaks about their individuals improvement, that is through the system. The feedback is also discussed in the top level, what kind of feedbacks we are getting, what kind of the policy rephrase required the reframe. So that kind of the work is going on in our organizations. And beyond that, in product side, we are having the loans facility, which is you can have the loans facility online, retail loans, education loans. You can also apply through the online system. It's automatically based. PAPL means personal business loan, personal loan. Such kind of the products are being digitalized now in the organizations, and the people are we are getting more business through that rather than going physically through that systems. And this digitalization are being implemented means of getting advantage everywhere in all kind of geographies of the country. Very friendly, because keeping in the new generations, they are more tech savvy. So we are not only depends on the brick and mortar system, so are we reaching through the digital also. And they are also accessing, and we are also getting benefit. And similarly, the other side, we are also implementing the AI kind of things, not exactly, I would say, in transactions. We are in the organization, crores of transaction happens daily on daily basis. We got the reports and find the insights which helps in the decision making to the top management, which buckets we have to focus, which area we have to focus, which area we have to push for particular things, from where we have to get that things. And similarly, so many things, so many parameters, we work through the insights, and we improve our processing and through the digital enablement. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your input, sir.
Thank you. I think most of the things have been covered. I'll just cover a different perspective as always. Sorry for that. But thing is, currently we should not confuse between the automation part of the HR versus the AI part of the HR. So when I talk about automation, I'm talking about the platforms, the HR management systems, right? Even the penetration for the HR management system, any guesses what is that in the Indian industry today? Simple HRMS platforms. What will be the penetration for them? Any guess? Wild guess. थोड़ा ज़्यादा है. It's about somewhere between, I don't have the exact figure, but somewhere 2 years back, I had this figure of 40-45%, or maybe it has increased. HRMS platforms. Can you imagine this? And it means if it is 50%, or I take it as 60% also. So 40% of the organization work manually today. Am I clear in that? Making any sense? Anything. I'm saying with anybody who is acquiring human resources as a part of their organization, onboarding them, how are they managing the HR function?
There are a lot of companies who are still running it out of Excel. Yeah.
Exactly. So HR function, how do you manage that? The simple platform, we talk about success factors, PeopleSoft. I'm talking about those platforms, just to mention that a little bit here. Or the KKAs of the world and all that, we have these. So 40% companies abhi bhi, they are migrating and they're trying to migrate or thinking to migrate from manual processes what they follow. So they have scattered formats. By the way, they don't have entire manually. So they will have payroll, maybe a part of it. Somewhere like maybe they will using some sourcing website for the recruitment in automation mode and something. I'm not saying entirely they are, but 40% out of that, maybe 10% is only the manual part. So let's not get away from the reality here. And I told you that's a toy. So please remember my word, right? So it's a toy for us. So now it is automation versus AI. So out of the companies which are using the automation, their transition to AI will be very smooth. Let's be very honest on that. Because it's just an, what do you call it as, जैसे हम Chrome में एक plugin लगा देते हैं या एक किसी चीज में लगा देते हैं, it is an added thing for them. And AI is going to do some work, which I'm going to talk about now. So that is easy for them. So the maybe the migration for 40 to 50% organization who are already working on this entire automated platforms, which is a journey starts from your recruitment or onboarding or pre-onboarding stage to the exit, or maybe beyond that as well. So it is easy. I think AI is playing a role every stage. आप sourcing ले लीजिए, आप recruitment ले लीजिए, आप engagement ले लीजिए, आप exit process ले लीजिए, learning and development ले लीजिए. Everywhere it is there. So we don't have to forget it. But what AI is playing a role now? Again, automation versus AI. So सब चीज जो हम बोल रहे हैं आज की डेट में, it's most of the part is automation. It's not AI. I'm sorry, I have to differ with my panelist as well here. Thing is, AI does the insight work for you. AI just doesn't generate the data for you. And anybody can challenge me on this. AI doesn't generate the data for you. They only generate the insights for you. Okay? Insight कहाँ से आएगा? Data आपको देना पड़ेगा. Data is coming from that automated platform in HR. So AI is playing or will play a part of insights. Where my human mind takes a lot of time to process that thing, AI is going to help me in the HR. कहाँ पे लगता है? सबसे ज़्यादा time किस चीज में लगता है? Any guesses, anybody from HR field here? कि सबसे ज़्यादा time consuming activity in HR, what is that?
I think still recruitment.
Recruitment. Recruitment के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा consuming, time consuming activity कौन सी है? Screening or sourcing. So AI is to come maximum in sourcing and your screening is going to play a critical role in that, and it's playing a critical role. There are plenty of tools which you can use. We are also using that. It helps phenomenally, right? But lacks common sense. So can I trust 100% what has been suggested by AI? No. Can I hire directly and give that resume to my hiring manager directly sourced by AI? No. Still require a human intervention. And what is the second most time consuming activity you have in HR? What is second most? Grievance handling. Okay. What else? Interview process. That's right. So second most consuming activity is interview process. Can I automate it? First level. So we have to just take it bit by bit. First level is automation for AI. And then second level is insight then. So automation is I have to automate a platform, give a platform to the person to maybe record an interview, which a lot of companies are there, and then record that interview, analyze it as we were doing it yesterday, as Mr. Koshla and the team was showing us. They give some insights to you that this person was good or bad or something. And then hiring manager can look at those insights and maybe took at the bit of the bites of the interviews, right? So that is AI is playing a role for you. But still there is a human intervention required, the assessment required by this person who is hiring that. So we have to understand, yes, AI is very good. It's a toy. It's going to become a part of our life. Always sequential. Please think about this. HR may, third activity. Maybe I would say L&D. Keeping a pace with the learning of the people. What should I be learning? That's the most confusing thing for anybody today in life. Okay? So AI can help you give that insight again. I'm using this word very, very carefully, guys. It's an insight to me again by AI that, okay, look at your profile. You have done in this maybe for last 10 years in this. This is how the openings are maybe for you. Within the organization, these are the openings you will get it. Outside the organization, you will get it. Your profile matches 80% with this. So your learning curve is only 20% for this. What is this giving? Insights. What is decision is mine. Which course should I do? So AI is going to play a very good role, but we have to take it as an insight. That's one part. After automation, not before automation. So if I take that I don't have any data and I ask some AI, which is like somebody, do the work for me. Kuch nahi karega. Because it requires some data input and amalgamation is required. Yeah.
Well, just to add on what he said, no, so it's garbage in, garbage out, right? So everything is whatever you feed into the system will you get out of the system in some other form, which is inside. So if it is garbage in going there, you will get a garbage out. And then exactly what you said. So the automation is the digitalization part, and then when you talk about digital transformation, then AI sits on top the digitalization. And exactly that's what it happened. And if I specifically give an example of L&D, the automation was the LMS. The digital transformation is the LXP, right? The experience platform, which helps you to get those insights, is actually the element where you bring a lot of aspects of AI to synthesize. Yesterday also I touched upon the skill-based organization. So the organization which you're using skill as a currency to trade between different touch points of an employee life cycle.
Absolutely.
Hiring, then based on the skills you get promoted or you move to other roles or you move to other geographies. So that's how AI is again. So I'll take that clue of using the word insight, and it gives you that insight not only for self but also to us as an HR professional or the management to then take the shots or calls and maybe become even more stronger for data-based decision making.
That's right. And like somebody was taking employee grievances, like we have chatbots. So they can act like someone is answering on your behalf. And it's like airlines, helpline, anything we can do that. So that's an AI thing because I don't have to make sit a person like in the past to answer some of the queries which are frequently asked questions. So they are being triggered, they're programmed like that, and they can answer it for you. So that's a cumbersome work which you guys can do. Now, one practical example, which I told my team to do that and use AI. So most of my team lacks Excel skills, and I have admitted. Most of the HR professionals, they are pathetic on Excel skills. Pathetic.
Gaurav,
Believe me.
we'll do an MDP on Excel for your people.
Yes. So please do that. And I give you one example here. I posted a post where I'm kind of hiring an HR guy, which is like a middle management person. And my people were struggling because the brief was very specific that my team requires analytics thing. I need that input and a team member attached to it. So look for a guy who can work very well on Excel in HR. So they were not able to find on the websites. So then I got frustrated. Let me put on my LinkedIn because I have a very vast network. Believe me, I got plenty of resumes and I by mistake, I gave my email ID on that and I had to delete that post that. But we got about 400, 350, 400 resumes. I asked, okay, AI works there. Then it got kind of sorted for me. I asked my team to evaluate it. And we thought like, which of the Excel guys were there? 50% were not having any Excel skills out of that. Okay. Not having Excel skills. Not even like maybe they just say, oh, we have working skills. Working skill, I can open the worksheet and just do some kind of here and there kind of thing. This is a working skill of Excel. We needed more insights. So now 50%, then we said, okay, fine, let's start interviewing people. We need a very good person. We started interviewing. The shortlisting happened to 10 people out of 350 people. I'm talking about average 10 years of experience in HR, guys. And this is practically, I'm telling you today, and my team got frustrated. आप हमें बोल रहे थे देखो कहीं भी नहीं है मैं कहा नहीं that's fine we will find so we found 2 guys who had so out of these 10 people we asked the people that there will be a live test somebody will take it on the teams you have to come live 8 of them backed out you please give us the assignment we'll come back to you what will the intention was like, yes, we don't have it, right? 2 people have it, and now we are boiled down to 2 people out of 350. So we're talking about AI, but yes. Then I told them, guys, do we really need a guy? Why don't you put this prompt in this for the Excel? You learned it from the chat GPT, or you have other this thing. This is a formula. What formula should I use for Excel? And what is the things I should do it? Learn it. So MDP, sir, fail ho jayega aapka abhi because AI is there. Sir?
Manish sir.
MDP nahi karna padega. Because the HR team is using the prompts in the chat GPT and other prompts that what formula should I be using for the Excel. So this is a very practical example what HR team can use it. Second thing, the emails were very, very unstructured. I told them that this is like whenever you write to a CEO or a different person and a senior person, I think it should be very structured emails. So what they do is now they put the raw data into the chat GPT, ask that, okay, please draft this email writing to my CEO and all that. Beautiful email comes, please. Beautiful. Try this out. When you're writing mail to Mr. Khosla, try this out. He'll be very, very happy to see that. But yes, you have to little bit humanize it because all the emails will look similar. That's the again problem of the AI. So when you do that, okay. So these are the things which HR professionals can do it for the ease of their life, using these tools on a day-to-day stuff where their life becomes easier. Because earlier, like you were getting a thrashing email, kya likha hai yaar? Samajh mein nahi aata hai. Matlab, the language is not making sense. You're writing it here also. Again, you're repeating the same thing. Again, you're doing the same thing. We come back, right? Normally karte hain aisa ki kya likh rahe ho yaar? So you just write prompts, liners there. ChatGPT writes very beautiful emails for you. You can put the Excel also there.
So Gaurav, we have students writing 4 paragraphs chat GPT generated mails for leave. So we now tell them the other way around. Just write 1 line. The ability to not even write a single sentence is a concern for humanity.
Yeah, agree.
You know,
but we're talking about here maybe working
tool.
as an efficient person. My efficiency goes up. My thrashing goes down. My motivation goes up. So when I get these, because people are still in a niche stage to as a tool and a toy, we are using this. So there's some examples which I thought will be helpful.
Well said, Gaurav. So I will give 2 practical examples. I was in Tata Docomo for 8 years. So I was regional SCM head, and we did a project which was coupled with AI and supply chain management correlation with HR, and we called it STD, source, transaction, and delivery. So source was more of strategic in nature, transaction was operational kind of stuff, and then delivery is almost analogous to last mile. So this is how we did, and I think as again conveyed by Gaurav, that something between basically automation and AI. So data sanctity and data has to be there, and so what we did was we did complete integration between the incentives, the KPIs, and everything, and we integrated this with the HR tool, and those HR analytics helped us in unbiased dispersal of incentives. So that is how we did, and this really helped us because most of the transactional work we were able to do through this tool. Another very relevant example, which is more to do with my personal life. Yesterday we were talking about resume scanning, and there's a real life example. So my daughter, she was in 3rd year, and she was appearing in Amazon interview in 6th semester, and it just happened that she was the highest CGPA amongst those 12 candidates, and we were shocked to know that she was not selected. And in fact, there were 6 girls, and all 6 girls were not selected. So I just told her to raise hue and cry and all that. So it was more like they were, putting some algorithm in the system, wherein all the males, they were given some weightage that they are not good for coding and all that stuff. So after having done that, what we came to realize that out of those 12 girls, 12 people, so 6 girls were shortlisted. So this is again to do with best practices happening in the industry, and at times even companies like Amazon not using it properly, because we talked about that diversity, sexual discrimination and all that, but then we use it at our own whims and fancies. That's it.
True, I do agree with that, sir. In the interest of time, I would like to say the key takeaways for me will be definitely a solution for your frustration, and definitely the Shulini University MBA Business Analytics students, they come with a common sense of identifying and coming out with the meaningful insights, because that's where the entire program is designed. And with the help of Munish sir, definitely not only the MDPs, but yes, our students are not only ready with the AI tools, but yes, they're playing with the data. As you rightly said, we have enough data. So we look forward in the coming days from you guys to give a case studies in the name of the data with us. And then maybe you can check out the common sense in the name of a meaningful insights with the Shulini University MBA students. So here I conclude with this panel discussion on implementing AI in HR best practices. If you have any questions, you can quickly take it up. Otherwise, I know we are running short of time. Thank you very much.
Lunchtime, everybody wants to eat.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to thank our panelists for this wonderful discussion. I request Professor Ashish to please come on the stage and felicitate our panelists. Also, I would like to call upon the stage Sachin Sharma from KPMG for the felicitation. Oh, okay. Yeah. Dr. Khosla is here. Please join us for the felicitation. Thank you, Chancellor sir. Thank you, Ashish sir. So this brings us to a significant highlight of today's event. I'm thrilled to announce the launch of our latest ebook, Smart HR with AI. This is not just a book. It is a transformative guide that delves into the profound impact of AI on human resources. Authored by distinguished industry leaders and esteemed academicians from Shulini University, this book stands at the intersection of cutting-edge technology and human resource management. So without further ado, I would again request our Honorable Chancellor, Professor P.K. Khosla, to officially launch the ebook. Alongside, I would request all the authors of the book, Professor Pooja, Professor Ashish, and we have Aditi Sharma, Akshita Thakur, Anish Ramteke, Anita Kumari, Ashish Khosla again, and Ashisha Bhatia, Ashu Khosla, Bindakshi Bhuria, Chandar Mohan Gupta, Damanpreet Kaur, Gaurav Saini, Gaurav Sharma, Gopali Dayal, Harjeet Kanduja, Jagjit Singh, Jitendra Panihar, Lab Singh, Mahesh Singh Bhati, Nepal Singh, Nikhil Mala, Patha Pratim Chakrabarti, Prabhuti Kshatriya, Prabhanjan Prasoon, Prince Chaudhary, Priya Sharma, Ricky Regmi, Sharad Kumar Sharma, Shilpa Sharma, Sudhir Roy Chaudhary, Sunil Kumar, Sunny Verma, Shalu Sehgal, Tanya Thakur, Vasudha Mahajan, Vikram Sharma, Vinay Negi, and Vivek Chauhan to kindly come on stage and become the part of this significant event. Yes, the hard copies of this book will be distributed to all the delegates and authors, and very shortly it will be available on Amazon as well. So let us take a moment to celebrate this achievement and acknowledge the efforts of everyone involved in making this ebook a reality. Thank you, everybody. So as we draw our session to a close, I want to take a moment to reflect on the invaluable insights we have gained today. We have delved into the importance of creativity and design thinking as fundamental drivers of innovation. It's clear that fostering an environment where these principles flourish can lead to groundbreaking ideas and solutions. Equally crucial is the role of industry-academia collaboration. By bridging the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application, we can address real-world challenges with greater efficacy. Additionally, our discussion on the best practices for implementing AI in HR has provided us with a roadmap for leveraging technology to its fullest potential. So as we move forward, let us carry these insights with us. Let's commit to nurturing creativity, fostering collaboration, and applying AI thoughtfully to drive excellence in our respective fields. Also, I would like to take a minute here. My dear colleague, Dr. Shilpa Sharma, it's her birthday today. Please stand up, Dr. Shilpa. Let us wish her a very happy birthday with a warm applause. All right, thank you, everybody. So now I would like to hand over to Dr. Pooja for the official vote of thanks.
Thank you, Tanaya. Thank you for being a lovely host. Before I move further with the official vote of thanks, I would like to thank each one behind this book. All the authors from the industry who actually contributed articles on a very short notice, and all the academicians from Shulan University who also contributed to this. Other than that, all our editors, most of them are interns with us, working with Shulani Online. So kudos to them. Thank you, everyone. So as we close this knowledge-filled, insightful conclave today, I would like to extend my vote of thanks to each one involved, in campus, outside campus, directly or indirectly. So I express my gratitude to our Chancellor, Sir, Professor P.K. Khosla, for his unwavering support throughout. Thank you, Professor Ashish Khosla, for always being there for us. Thank you all the deans, directors, faculty members, staff, and the students for joining us and for being a wonderful audience. Thank you, everyone. Throughout this conclave, we did a manthan in the field of HR, which was not possible without the industry experts. Thank you so much that you gave us an opportunity to host you at Shulini University. Thank you, everyone. You all, with your presence, showed us a torch towards AI-driven future of HR, actually. Last but not the least, the team behind this HR conclave, Shulini online team. Let's clap for ourselves, guys. I may not be able to name everyone here, but I'll name few, 4 to 5 people here. Thank you, Tarun sir. Thank you, Amar sir. Dipit is here. Thank you, Dipit. Thank you, Ritu, who's not here. And thank you, Rohit. I hope he's here. And thank you, all the faculty members. I'm intentionally not taking names because I may miss out few names then. Right? And thank you, all the interns, student support around us. The thanks note is actually incomplete if I don't thank my student volunteers. And as per Ashisha, we use this term shadows for our student volunteers. She gave us a feedback. Please don't use shadows word. Use a better word for this. She says, this shadows word is a negative word. So kuch aur bolo. Right? So, chaperons, maybe, yes. Right? So thank you, students. Some are here, some are outside. Thank you, everyone. Okay, not to forget our camera person, Bhatti ji, Vipin ji, Hetram, who's not here, Director Operations, Nagyal sir's team, and Dr. Nisha for the press release. Thank you, ma'am. And yes, there's no success without a bonded team, without a cohesive team. So thank you, Team Shulini, once again. Thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, everyone. And now we proceed for lunch. Thank you, everyone.